stand up. There is said flag.
Center field, bro.
I can barely see. I'm red, green colors, man.
I'm sensitive. I get it.
Center field. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Wilson Rozier Ballpark in Farmington, Missouri. We are here for an excellent match between the Hillsboro Hawks
Yes, sir.
and the Farmington Black Knights as they take the field right now. This game is going to be really one of the first games of the season that really marks getting it underway for the Farmington Black Knights. It's going to be an exciting match between the Hawks and the Knights. As I, Alex Lawson, your play-by-play man for the evening, sit next here, Tyson Gray.
Howdy, howdy.
He will be your color commentator, and to my right will be the technical director. You won't be hearing much of him, or at least I hope. Mr. Campbell, manning one of our cameras down the third base line is Mr. Lucas Colligan. As we get things underway, we just listened to the national anthem, and players are warming up a little bit more on the field before we get started. What are we looking at around the horn? Let's start around the horn.
Well, we got Grant Higginbotham starting pitching today for the Knights. He'll be throwing towards Chad Sylvie, who I believe is behind the plate at first base. Looks like we got Jason Madley at playing second. Hunter Pierce at short. Clayton Redmond, and at third base we have, trying to put a name to a face. Who's that out there for? Who's that out there for us?
Well, we will find out, hopefully, as we get things going. What about the outfield? Who we got in left field?
In left field, we got Zach Grimes in center. Looks like we got Noah Ballou in right. Looking like Owen Tripp.
Owen Tripp. So, how do you think the last outing went for Grant Higginbotham? Are you aware?
Yeah, he last outing I saw, he took on Central. A little shaky to start, but really solidified himself after the first inning. Got some key outs and obviously got some run support to win that game pretty big. I believe they won by the score of 6-2.
6-2, not a bad score against the Rebs as we get underway. Number 2 for the Hillsboro Hawks, Mr. Mark Moore stands in right side of the batter's box.
A little change of scenery here for the Night Show Spotlight crew. Me
Yes,
and Alex,
sir.
You can catch us out on BKTV Studios for that.
First pitch underway, and it is ball 1 to Mr. Moore.
I think the umpire's got a strike.
Oh, sorry, pardon me, a strike. Didn't see the motion. We're on the left side of the umpire. Second pitch to Moore. Down and out, ball 1. 1-1 the count. Throwing to Chad Sylvie, senior. Also senior basketball player as well as senior soccer player for the Farmington Knights, entering his final sport. As we are at 1-1, here's the 1-1 pitch. And strike 2, swinging strike, 1-2. Higginbotham might get settled in pretty early. Getting up against the leadoff hitter is pretty important, especially for younger baseball. As we here's the 1-2 count. Pitch and swinging strike, low pitch, perfectly done. Taking care of Mr. Mark Moore, and now coming up to the plate, Mr. Logan Warren Jr. from the left-hand side, number 12 for the Hawks. Sylvie getting set in.
And I'm sure Grant Higginbotham would love to get this out as Mr. Michael Brewer is standing on deck. We'll talk about him more as he gets into the box.
Here comes the first pitch to Mr. Logan Warren. Swinging strike high, right at the face mask for Mr. Sylvie. So, you said that Mr. Brewer is currently on deck. What do you know from him after this 0-1 pitch?
Well, he's an all-around baseball player. You know, I think luckily he's not pitching today for the Hawks, but we could see something different, especially maybe in relief. But a D1 baseball player going to the University of Southern Mississippi, we expect big things from him in the future.
So that was a ball 1 to Mr. Logan Warren. He took a little bit of a perfectly placed strike, a little bit left to him, but here comes the 1-2. Ball 2, a little bit low. A little bit of chatter, a little bit of banter going around between dugouts we've seen earlier. We saw during warm-up a little bit, but a lot of silence towards the very end of it. Here comes the 2-2. And this one's popped up, going to go over our heads and into the parking lot. Just barely missed one of the cars, as it's now a 2-2 count again.
I'm glad I didn't park close.
I parked a little bit behind the stand, so the odds of me getting a broken windshield are pretty low, at least I hope. All right, here comes the 2-2. One out, and placed well. Strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Grant Higginbotham, as you said his name is Michael Brewer.
Michael Brewer.
Michael Brewer. Going to South Mississippi, you say. That is a really nice school, real fly school for baseball. And, man, this guy looks tall.
He's 6'5", in addition to being a D1 baseball player, all-state basketball player this year. Let me tell you what, this kid can get up on the basketball floor.
And he just cranks one out into deep right center field, going back for it and over the head, and it is going to go out of the park. First pitch swinging, and he cranked that into right center.
Well, try to warn him.
You really did. I just don't think he could hear you. So who did we say was in right field today?
I believe that is Owen Tripp out there in right field. That's who started for him most of the time.
So if that is Owen Tripp, he was chasing for it, and then I'm pretty sure he realized he was about to run into a nice tall green fence before it was too late. So the score is now 1-0 here in the top of the first for the Hillsboro Hawks as we come to the cleanup hitter, number 32, Mr. Hancock. Higginbotham, hopefully that won't scatter him too much, knowing Brewer's reputation. First pitch, contact up the middle, and diving for it, making a little bit of a missed grab, was Hunter Pierce. He stopped it, prevented it from going up the middle. And now we've got runner at first. Mr. Hancock stands up, and now the number 5 hitter, right in the middle of the lineup, is number 15, Higginbotham. Hopefully he didn't get too shaken up by that home run. Here we go. Runner at first, 2 outs.
Voiles at the plate.
And a little bit of a check on the runner. Cleanup hitter, Mr. Hancock, still at first base. Still kind of got a small lead going. He's eyeing the pitcher a little bit. Mattingly prepared to go for the swipe tag as number 15 stands at the plate, Mr. Voyle. He's going to take ball 1, low and away. And he sets in again. Higginbotham gets a sign from Sylvie. The 1-0, a little bit outside. A little bit outside for 2-0. Higginbotham probably geared towards the batter more than the runner. You got to get him out before you get the runner out, of course. And he sets in again. So now we have geared up for the 2-1.
Not much of a leadoff over there at first base.
No, but enough. Maybe not against Mr. Chad Sylvie behind the plate. Takes a little bit more smaller of a lead, but it is now 2-2 and 2 outs. Still runner at first. 1-0 still after the Brewer home run into right.
Kudos to Higgy for even this thing back up.
Yeah, getting behind 2-0, and now here comes the 2-2. Gets the strikeout, strikes out the side. But the Hawks have strike first with a home run by Michael Brewer.
And I'll tell you what, as soon as that thing came off the bat, it was a no-doubter for me.
You could hear it, you could see it, just the sound alone off the aluminum just kind of cranked. You could hear it soaring. You could hear the stitches kind of rotating through the air before it finally plunked down.
Yeah, he definitely caught the barrel of the bat on that one. And, Michael Brewer, like we said, all-around athlete. powerful in all facets of the game, and just took that one for a ride. Especially going opposite field too. That's pretty impressive as well.
Opposite field is definitely impressive. I mean, Higginbotham definitely doesn't leave much outside. I definitely can attest to that. But sometimes you just have to kind of trust your pitch, and he tried, and Brewer just kind of took advantage of what he saw. First pitch swing. That's got to feel rough. It does appear that Mr. Was that Hancock? I believe is on the mound. The cleanup hitter. Got on to first, off a base hit up the middle. A little bit of fielder's choice action going on with Hunter Pierce, but he only was able to stop it. He had a little bit of a battle going between him and Higginbotham whenever he was at first, as you see the coaches head to their respective bases.
Hancock has a little bit of a cock in his pitching motion, yes, as well.
Yeah, you could definitely see it. I'm excited to see him pitch from the stretch.
I mean, he kind of cocks it back, look, and kind of a little jerky with it.
Yeah, he kind of lets his elbow be the real anchor for his motion, his downward motion, and he lets his arm kind of stay up a little bit, almost like a football, but his head ducks a little bit. And the mound action just kind of takes care of that for him. So I imagine you'll see a lot of high velocity pitches against the Farmington Knights. So who do we see right now getting ready to lead off?
Clayton Redmond batting number 1 right now. He's eyeing up Hancock's pitches right now.
I think we saw. He said Clayton Redmond is at shortstop, wasn't he?
Yes, sir. And this is a young prospect for this Farmington team. Really solid out in the field. Has great baseball IQ. Looking for good things for him, not just this year, but in the 2 years he has ahead of him.
Yeah, shortstops really have to have that high baseball IQ. He and Hunter Pierce have good chemistry from what we've seen in the midfield.
And Hunter Pierce going to play baseball himself at NAIA Central Methodist up in Fayette, Missouri.
Yes, I remember hearing about that, and I'm excited for him. Definitely excited for his future up there. All righty. Redmond gets set. Here comes the pitch from Hancock. Down and a little bit of a way. It's 1-0. Batter count for Mr. Clayton Redmond.
I like Redmond's composure right now at the plate.
Yeah.
Looking very confident.
And it'll go 2-0. No, pardon me, 1-1. Umpire behind the plate is very subtle strike motion. Kind of difficult to spell, especially from the other side of him. Hancock gets set with a 1-1. Here it comes. And another low and away pitch. Hancock definitely lets that, it appears to be a subtle curve, or it could just be a very low located fastball. He definitely isn't rising material like we see with Jason Mattingly as he comes with 2-1. And going to fall away from him. It's going to be 3-1. And Redmond looking to draw a walk. He hasn't swung at any of those low pitches or anything. So
I'll tell you what, if you can get Redmond on right now, you have very capable contact hitters in Hunter Pierce and Chad Sylvie ready to bring those guys around.
And it is now, I believe that was a walk, but it could have been an incomplete strikeout. It could have been a check swing that led it to be. No, it was 3-1, so it must have been a walk. Just a lot of hustle, a lot of chatter, trying to get a hold of it. Try to keep the composure of everybody too. Wild pitches like that can definitely lead to some trouble if you've got the leadoff hitter.
Isaac Hamilton already taken himself a mound visit to Hancock.
As catcher Isaac Hamilton, he'll be leading off the next inning, batting 6th for the Hawks. As Hunter Pierce, number 4, got that nice right-handed stance that we've seen for the past several years.
Hunter Pierce almost had a web gym had he been able to come up with that ground ball up the middle by Hancock.
Yes, sir. All right, here comes the 0-0 pitch. Redmond in first got a little bit of a lead, and Hamilton wasn't fooled. That mound just probably had a lot to do with it. A high fastball, get him geared for a potential stolen base throw. Here comes the 1-0.
Hunter Pierce's stance is really making it a difficult strike zone for Hancock, I think.
Yes, sir. Strike 1 is 1-1. Hunter Pierce, great composure at the plate.
He's kind of crowding the plate, kind of leaning out a little bit.
Yeah,
kind of daring him to pitch it inside a little bit.
Making an awkward strike zone is perfect, especially for a hitter like Hunter Pierce who can take advantage of a lot of awkward pitches. Here comes the 1-1. Swung on and missed, 1-2. And Hamilton, the catcher, eyeing Redmond at first.
I think that one was sliding away from Hunter Pierce. Came in the zone, just kind of broke out towards the dirt.
Maybe a little
Good pitch by Hancock.
Maybe a little bit of a two-seam. And a check on the runner first. Safe call. The bags, I believe you see Coach Hain and Coach Hibbets at first and third, respectively, as Redmond gets in a slight lead again. We saw this with Mr. Hancock himself against Higginbotham. Pierce digs in. Fouled back. Going to hit just over the net above the press box.
Luckily hitting nothing but Nothing but asphalt over there.
Yes, sir. We ourselves were at a table just right outside the third base line. Press box a little too high and a little too light for ourselves and our equipment. As Hunter Pierce digs in, 1-2. Another check on the runner. Redmond is still called safe. First baseman for the Hawks really was convinced that he had the runner. I think you kind of have to act a little bit, kind of like you do in basketball on fouls. Act a little bit.
I think it'd be a little better if you had a 4-man crew out there.
Yeah, probably. Here comes the 1-2, and Hunter Pierce strikes out. And coming to the plate now, senior, Mr. Chad Sylvie, I believe.
Chad Stovey still weighing his options for his collegiate baseball career. Definitely has some JUCO interest.
Primary interest, I believe, is Jefferson College.
Yes, sir.
Up near Arnold. Number 1, Don's the number 1, I believe. Catcher for the Knights. Long prospected senior. He and Hunter Pierce make a very solid core for this team, as he's got a very nice, steady little hurdle going with his bat as he takes strike 1.
Well, there's one guy that is in love with baseball. It's got to be Chad Sylvie. I mean, he works on his craft, and, you know, he breathes baseball whenever the time comes.
He is very committed. And another check on the runner, Redmond. I sit in the middle of the day. I sit in one of his classes in seminar, and I've heard about his diet. In the morning, he used to eat at least 2 eggs plus some protein shake, and he has since converted to just strictly peanut butter as far as I'm concerned. As he takes eyes down 0-1, and it's going to be ball 1.
Just trying to lean down, and while also increasing muscle mass.
Yeah, he eats from the school salad line. It's filled with typically turkey or chicken for the protein, grapes and carrots, and that's it. It's kind of, not only is it interesting, but it's respectable to commit yourself to such a diet. As here comes the 1-1, swinging up as a 1-2 count. Hopefully we don't see Mr. Hancock get in too much of a groove with 1 out, runner at first.
I think Mr. Hancock's finding a little movement to his pitches. Even, you know, his fastball has a little bit of a wiggle to it.
A little bit of a rise kind of going. If you add another maybe 2 miles per hour, it's definitely a consistent riser. As Redmond goes off, the throw from the catcher Hamilton, and it is going to go to the second baseman who was trying to cover up, but it goes over second base. And Redmond has a stolen base. 1 out, runner at second.
I'll tell you what, that was a nice little save by Garrett Pinkley to be behind second base in order to get that overthrown ball from the catcher, Isaac Hamilton.
Yes, sir. So it is now 2-2 with 1 out, runner at second. Probably be running on contact if it's low to the ground. Sylvie geared in. Here's the pitch. Popped up right field, going foul territory. Getting under is the right fielder, but it will go right to the track and out of reach for the Hawks. 2-2 still the count. Sylvia has also committed himself to a high-protein diet with vegetables for dinner. It's just kind of incredible. I mean, I've seen athletes do this before, including you yourself during basketball season. I find it very, very respectable, because I don't know if I could do that, commit myself to such a diet for something like that. The passion must really be there. So
Chad Sylvie's really trying to go opposite field right now, I have a feeling.
ground ball to third base. Redmond's going to get eyed down to second and runner out at first. Sylvie really, really hustle down the line, something you're taught to do, obviously, as I believe the mark goes 5-3.
Well, he definitely tried to go opposite field, but, you know, just the way the pitch was thrown, he was just trying to make contact, eventually pulled it. It is what it is.
Who we got at the plate right now? We can clean up.
We got Noah Ballou.
Noah Ballou. We see him in what, left field, center field?
Center fielder.
Cleaning up center fielder.
He can he can really hit the gaps.
Yeah, he really can. I've seen it. He really gets the barrel on it, especially those outside pitches. He takes ball 1, I believe.
And he's got the Matt Carpenter, no batting gloves vibe to him.
Yeah, you know what?
Brings an edge. Brings an edge to what he brings to the field.
Yeah, brings a lot of fun, I believe, too. A lot of a bit of not really fear, but a lot of just intimidation towards pitchers.
Yeah, it's hard for me to understand because, you know, it's a little chilly outside.
As he fouls one back to the fence.
You get a baseball hitting you in the at the end of the bat. It's gonna sting. I'll tell you that much.
The vibration is absorbed pretty good by the ball or by the bat and eventually the tape and the grip around the handle of the bat. But he sets in, cleaning up center fielder. 2 outs, 1-1 count with a runner at second. Redmond got the stolen base. Ooh, bit of a sinking, slow breaking ball. Not really a breaking ball, much of an off-speed pitch, and it's 1-2 now. He's also got a little bit of an awkward batting stance inside the plate, makes it a little bit more uncomfortable. He gets those outside balls and plunges them into right center. Swinging high fly ball, fouled back over first base line. That's going to go directly towards the picnic tables, I believe. And
Hey, the last thing we want is an insurance claim.
oh, really?
Today.
Still 1-0. Noah Ballou trying to crank this one, hopefully into right center, or even over the plate or over the fence. And he'll take strike 3 looking, and that's going to retire the side. Redmond stranded at second. Pierce struck out. Sylvie, fielder's choice, got it first, and then a strikeout of Noah Ballou. Leading off for the Hawks this inning, as we get to the top of the second, will be Mr. Isaac Hamilton. Who else we have going on? Who's on deck? Who's in the hold? As Higginbotham is taking to the mound. Sylvie already geared up.
Well, Hillsboro's having themselves a little meeting before they go out here for the second inning. Probably talking about trying to get on a little bit of a rally right now, so they can really blow, blow this game open and maybe get to go home early.
I bet they would love that. I personally would like to see the Knights put up several runs for my first game of the season. I was not able to commentate or go to one of the games in March, and a couple games actually. We canceled one of the stream for one of the games due to imminent weather. Here we are, a little bit of overcast, no real threats of rain, thankfully. The sun is still kind of glaring in the eyes and on the equipment. I got the shades on.
Good thing I got shorts on right now, so.
Yes, sir. Chad Sylvie with the eye black on. A little bit of fear-mongering. Like to see that. A little intimidation, especially from a catcher, especially a senior catcher from his size.
On deck we have Ethan Eckrich of the Hawks, number 21. I believe he's the quarterback of the Hillsboro Hawks football team.
Sylvie, the aforementioned senior, is also the goaltender. We mentioned that earlier. And here comes the first pitch to Mr. Hamilton. Swung on and miss. Higginbotham trying to get settled in for this game. Wants to make sure that one home run off of Brewer stays 1 run. Swing a strike 2 from Mr. Hamilton. Had a pretty decent throw to try to get Clayton Redmond out at second, but sadly for him, he overthrew it a little bit. Here comes the 0-2. And check swing. Appeal. Ball 1. And going to 1-2.
Grant Higginbotham, I think, is really starting to find his gear right now. I think it's just a matter of location for him because his speed on his pitches and his mix is fantastic.
He got the first batter out of the game. I believe it was Mr. Michael Moore. He got him out on the 1-2, and here comes the 1-2, and it's contact, and it's going to go right near our camera around the third base line. We got the okay sign from Mr. Lucas Colligan, who's standing with the camera. And we advance to another 1-2 count pitch from Mr. Grant Higginbotham, Jr. for the Knights. Here it comes. Ball 2, low pitch.
Umpire's keeping it a little tight around the knees.
You know, I bet you pitchers love to take advantage of those looser strike zones, but hate it whenever they're up at the bat themselves. And down goes Mr. Hamilton on strikes, looking as to the plate is.
Unfortunate as it is, that's 4 strikeouts for Grant Higginbotham, but Knights down 1-0 here in the top of the second.
Higginbotham did get the side, just got Hamilton. And at plate, number 21, Mr. do not remember the name, as he takes a ball high and up and in.
Ethan Eckrich.
Ethan Eckrich. We just acquired some programs, and Ethan Eckrich, it will take ball 2. He is a pitcher and an outfielder for the Hawks. Probably saw him in, I believe, right field, maybe center. He's not pitching today. That duty belongs to Mr. Hancock, as here comes the 2-0. Strike 1 to Mr. Eckrich. Higginbotham got a little bit of high and in on those first 2 pitches, and he's trying to find the zone a little bit against a very tall Mr. Eckrich, senior for the Hawks. He's looking to capitalize. And ball 3. Tall guy, probably draws a lot of walks. He's deep in the lineup, batting 7th. And probably doesn't get a lot of hitting opportunities. Here comes the 3-1. High and away. That was an awkward at-bat for Mr. Grant Higginbotham. There's a runner at first with 1 out. Double play is a valid option as Mr. Garrett Pinkley, infielder and catcher, junior as well, comes to the plate.
We're seeing him at second base today. Gary Pinkley, also a member of Hillsboro's district championship team this year in basketball.
District champions, huh?
Sounds like a little team we know as well.
Oh, yeah. He gets in, and a check on the runner. At first, called safe. Jason Mattingly, also a pitcher from tonight's, also a senior, is at first base. He stands pretty tall. He's geared ready. Another check on the runner could come. Clean count. Mr. Pinkley, here comes the first pitch, outside and a little bit of away, but still gets the strike.
You know, I'm just going to point this out right now. I want your opinion on it. I don't think I like these blue pants from Hillsboro.
You know, I wasn't going to say anything. I really wasn't. And another check on the runner. Bit of a fear after Clayton Redmond stole second earlier. Probably going to see the Hawks try to even up the count on steals.
So you're with me on the blue pants.
I am. As a matter of fact, I think it's my second least favorite blue out of all of the teams. And a little bit of a lead off going. Sylvie lets the ball go past him just a little bit.
Are we referencing the Chicago Cubs?
I meant of high school teams.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to name any names. Our technical director, Mr. Campbell, is kind of mouthing some advice to us about what not to say, but I can't quite understand him. Can you? It's the 0-2 pitch, and throw him behind. Safe at first. Sylvie really thought he had the jump on him. A little bit of a high pitch, a little bit of an awkward throw, and the positioning was just a little off. But Jason Mattingly, good solid play, trying to get the out. Those outs are precious. Those are productive outs that every team likes to see.
So it's really starting to beam down now. Ooh.
Strike 3, and down goes Mr. Eckridge.
You saw it.
Or, pardon me, Mr. Pinkley.
You saw it. Garrett really wanted to swing right there. He bent down, thought about it, decided not to pull the trigger, and it cost him in the end.
Yeah. We have a runner at first, 2 outs, and now Mr. Grant Beck, infielder. I believe we see him at shortstop. Sets in. A lot of righties on this team. Swinging strike 1. And who did we declare as the third baseman for the Knights today? We'll reference our program.
That'll be number 25. Looks like Aiden Morgan, a sophomore, is getting the call today.
Ed Morgan was playing for the punt earlier. He's probably not going to be shy away from it now as there's another check on the runner. I believe that marks the 5th check on the runner at first. I believe that's still, was that Ian Hamilton still? No, that would be Mr. Eckridge. Awkward walk on 5 pitches. Another pitch.
Just want to keep him
fly
honest.
Ball, a little bit foul, and it's going to lean towards that light pole, that light fixture, pardon me.
Sorry.
Grant Beck, another junior. This team is loaded with juniors and seniors, especially in the starting lineup. And that makes for a dangerous combination, but in our starting lineup we sport, I believe, 2 10th graders? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, we have both. Left side of our infield today is a 10th grade fixture.
And that was the pardon me, that was the 0-2, and ball 1 will be delivered to Mr. Peck or Mr. Beck.
That was a tight corner that Grant Higginbotham tried to paint and just wasn't giving it to him.
He just didn't stay in the lines. Here comes the 1-2, swinging bunt check. Higginbotham play at first, throw to Mattingly, and he gets the side. When we come back, Farmington Knights look to tie this game up, maybe even take the lead, as it is still 1-0 in favor of the Hawks. We've seen Mr. Chad Sylvie, Mr. Hunter Pierce, Mr. Noah Ballou, and Clayton Redmond. And who all have we have yet to see Owen Tripp, Zach Grimes, or Jason Mattingly. And those are 3 big names when it comes to this offense. The Knights are well known for their deep offense in the 5, 6, and 7 slots. So, yeah, standing out, Mr. Hancock, gearing with Mr. Hamilton on the mound behind the plate.
Christian Hancock. We can officially give him a first name.
Christian Hancock. Alrighty.
You know, one of the interesting things about Hillsboro that's kind of been going around, saw it on social media a couple times this week, is the fact that they're new. You know, they're having a little bit of budget cut issues, looking to maybe cut out some certain programs amongst all the school districts, and so one of the interesting options is actually cutting out all athletic activities from Hillsboro High School.
You see, that is disappointing to me because although Hillsboro is not a rival of Farmington, not like North County or Central or not even Potosi or Jackson, but they are still an entertaining team to play against and watch.
It's significant. You know, we are mainly the St. Francis County power, while Hillsboro is the Jefferson County power. And so whenever we get together, it's more of a contest of two counties, so to speak. And you know, I would hate. You know, like I said, we have a lot of battles with Hillsboro, but I'd hate to see that for the kids. You know, they have so much athletic support in that community, and lots of great athletes, and always seem to have winning seasons in pretty much every sport they play. So that's definitely something that I would not want to see happen. There are other options though that could be viable, as in, you know, cutting out varsity only sports. You know, sports that can't support a junior varsity team, which obviously, you know, baseball, basketball, football has no problem with that.
Standing in now, Mr. Jason Mattingly at first base. He's also one of the key starting pitchers for the Farmington Knights. He sets in from the right-hand side, taking a high ball one, or yes, pardon me, a high ball one. Now, who do I see on deck?
I believe that is Jacob Jarvis. Jacob Jarvis must be, he might be the one playing right field today instead of Owen Tripp. Sorry, we're trying to look from a distance.
Very difficult. The sun's beating down on us. It is now 2-0, Mr. Mattingly. Swinging strike one, a nice big cut, going from around the knee height of the catcher all the way back around to about the helmet, or the mask height, as he takes ball 3. 3-1. Mattingly, another tall and awkward batter to face. Very similar to what we saw with Mr. Eckridge.
Are you taking a cut here? He took a cut.
He took a cut, fouled up, and Mr. Jacob Jarvis will handle that nicely. Standing on deck in the hold. Who do we see in the hold? Do we have a good look at it? Number 2 in the hold. Fouled back again, Mr. Mattingly.
It looks like Jason Mattingly is choking up on the bat, and he's going to take anything close, which is probably the correct thing to do here with the full count.
So I believe I see on deck is Mr. Jacob Jarvis. So here comes the 3-2. A nice solid hit up. That's going to drop into center field. It's going to be a base hit for Mr. Mattingly, and he's going to take a little bit around the first base, but will settle in at first. Jacob Jarvis at the plate.
And holds Owen Tripp, so interesting to see.
So yeah, that's Owen Tripp on the deck now. He was in the hole just a few moments ago. Jarvis from the left side, tall guy, JV basketball powerhouse. We saw him perform really well.
Really backing up in that batter's box.
Yeah, he's got a nice left-handed wide stance,
which is good because we need some lefties, and he has a lefty following him in Owen Tripp.
Yes, sir. Long arms and a very wide stance, perfect for power. He's definitely a pull hitter. You can definitely tell that whenever he cranks the ball, it's going to go right towards that 335 in right field next to the yellow pole.
They're giving him a little space down the foul line.
He really is. And it's high. Check on the runner. Mattingly is called safe. That was really close.
Yes, I was about to say. That one could have gone, you know, either way had the umpire been in a better position. But two-man crew, kind of hard to see everything on the diamond.
Here comes the 1-1 to Jacob Jarvis from Christian Hancock. Swinging strike, a little bit of a away pitch. Definitely moved a little bit. Jarvis probably thought that was a little bit higher based off of where his swing was located. So that could have been a form of curve or maybe even a two-seam or a slider. Don't really know the movement on this Hillsboro Hawk pitcher.
Jacob Jarvis really eager to get a hit. Missed.
Hot contact to third base. Play at second. Safe. Jarvis running up first and is, out at second. Safe is first. Jarvis really hustled up the line. Contact to the third baseman. We have now 1 out.
But as I was saying, Jacob Jarvis was really eager to get, a hit, get a beat on the ball. Missed a little bit of time at the beginning of the season with a shoulder injury. So glad to get him back.
Owen Tripp stands in, another lefty. Difficult to deal with a right-handed pitcher. Jarvis got contact, headed towards Michael Brewer. Here comes the 0-0 pitch. Contact high up in the middle, and it's going to be caught by the shortstop. Play at first to double off the runner, and he's out. That was good, solid infield plays by the Hillsboro Hawks. Contact flew, short little fly ball. Sounded a little bit more intense to, I believe that was Grant Beck we saw, it's short. And he had a very nice throw back to first.
As I was saying with Jacob Jarvis being eager, that one might have been a little too eager on that fly ball. You saw it was a little bit short. Probably should have, brought it back just a little bit. Not got caught so far, but, he trusted his speed and thought he could get back in time, just, inches short of being safe.
They say a lot of sports, like football is a game of inches and basketball can be just a game of degrees of play, but really the amount of difference in a hit is just so incrementally small when it comes to the position of the ball on the bat. The ball can be a very solid millimeter higher on the barrel of a bat, and that is statistically the difference between a fly ball on the infield and a home run, if that's believable. It's just so small, and
it's amazing to think about. And you think, the best of the best are the ones that can incrementally, have that incremental precision to make that difference. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what sport: baseball, basketball, football, soccer, golf, hockey,
tennis.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's so many sports where just like those little units just make the biggest difference. As we get set again, Mr. Mark Moore, we see him in the outfield, probably the center fielder. You can see that he's a little bit shorter than some of his teammates, but definitely a faster guy. We saw him really get moving around in the outfield.
And get this, Mark Moore, four-sport athlete.
Four-sport, huh?
Plays primarily soccer in the fall, did kicking for football, starting guard for basketball, and now playing the outfield for the Hillsboro Hawks baseball team.
Yeah, we'll probably see more of him next year as he is a junior. And pop fly ball in foul territory. Mattingly gives it a bit of a stare as it heads towards the telephone lines. Sun has started to come out from the sky, and it's really beating down, kind of drawing in some of the heat. I mean, pretty much all black and some dark blue, so this is not going to be pleasant for me.
I really wanted to take the city off. I know as soon as I do it, I'm going to get cold.
1-2 count for Mr. Mark Moore. He struck out on the 1-2 count to start off this game. Higginbotham really likes pitching against the shorter guys, it seems. Kind of gets to take advantage of the lower part of the strike zone. Lower to the ground, lower center of gravity, smaller strike zone. Comes the 1-2, high above the head of Mr. Moore. Sylvie's got great reaction time. We've only seen really one ball go past him, and even then that was kind of a hit off of, I believe, the cleat of one of the Hillsboro Hawks batters.
It's a crisp 50 degrees outside right now.
That is very nice. Very nice.
Feels like 80 right now with the sun on us.
Really, it does. And a swinging strike is going to go behind the plate. And the throw to first, not going to come. Incomplete strikeout. Runner gets to first. Mark Moore really hustled down the line. That's that quickness and that just overall agility that we saw.
Well, that's definitely four sports working at once right there.
Oh, yeah. You may not run a lot in kicking, but running up and down a court, running up and down a soccer field, that right there really stretches out your legs. And baseball is no different. Light
body weight, light feet, able to get them moving faster, and get down that line. Great acceleration. That's what that does for you.
Bit of a check with the umpires, trying to confirm what exactly happened. Still safe at first. And now number 12, Logan Warren, lefty, I believe we saw. Yep, the lone left-handed hitter.
Let's see if Higgy throws low here and see if we can get a double play. So that way, you're looking at Michael Brewer already. You want him to get as minimal runs as possible.
You really do. He already has a solo shot, and if you really want to keep the runs to a minimum, you don't strand two runners for him. As we see infield drawn in a little bit. Mark Moore. Definitely a threat to steal. Higginbotham eyeing him down. Mattingly there for him as well. Playing close to the infield. Another check on the runner. Aiden Morgan playing for a charge. Bunt is definitely a threat, especially towards Aiden Morgan, as we do have a left-handed hitter. Just a pitch to the outside can definitely advance the runner. And, you know, batting second, you got to have a little bit of speed going with you as well.
Look for him to pitch low here still.
Here it comes. Bunt. Aiden Morgan going to get the play probably at third. A little bit low, but Mattingly makes the recovery. Out at first, and that will leave a runner at second for Mr. Michael Brewer.
That was a very nice dig by Jason Mattingly right there.
Yeah, it really was. Hard thing about playing first base is people always think you have to make the play, but really what people are taught, first basemen are taught, is to just get in front of the ball, because if the ball goes past you, that can be the difference of one or two bags per runner. So you saw Mark Moore go to second off of that. If that gets past Mattingly and maybe even digs into the outfield a little bit, he could score. It's the Little League aspect of the game.
Do you pitch to Michael Brewer here?
Yes, I 100% pitched to Michael Brewer here. One-run game, totally fine. You know how to pitch against him a little bit. You know what pitches he likes. And there's a pass ball throwback to Higginbotham. Luckily, it was headed right towards Mr. Clayton Redmond, backed up by Hunter Pierce. Yeah, I pitched to Michael Brewer here.
And at this point, I was 50-50 with it, but I'm just keeping everything low. I do not want that ball to get in the air.
0-1, here it comes. A little bit of an away pitch, 1-1 the count. You see the difference between, I believe, Michael Brewer and Chad Sylvia is Chad Sylvia is a contact and power hitter. You don't see him hit, all the home runs, but you do see him hit those clutch doubles consistently and the occasional home run whenever he needs to.
I think Michael Brewer is able to be picky here.
I think so too. And I don't think he's worried about the low ball. He's got the height and the long arms to do something with it. Another low pitch, that's going to be taken for a ball. 2-1 the count. I think maybe this is one of those situations where it's the unintentional intentional walk, where he purposefully walks the batter but makes it look unintentional.
I was just thinking that.
I mean, he's kind of pitching around him. Maybe he can get something, give him something low and low.
Trying to really paint a corner right now.
Yeah, he's still working with it, and it's now 3-1.
But Michael Brewer, fierce competitor and whatever he does, but overall, really good dude. I had the pleasure of playing AU basketball with him starting in 7th grade and throughout high school. So my best wishes to him in the future.
Yep. 3-1 runner at second. Mark Moore still a threat to steal. Inside.
There's the walk.
Still one out. Double play now and a threat as the pitcher, Christian Hancock, comes to the plate. He struck out to end the inning in the first, I believe. No. Maybe? No, he did not. But I believe he was walked. I think that
yes,
sounds
he was walked.
He was walked.
Actually, no. He hit down the middle, and Hunter Pierce couldn't come up with the ball.
Ah.
Diving effort, to say the least.
Yes,
it was a really
sir.
difficult play.
1-0 the count. Runners at first and second. Mark Moore, threat to steal. Michael Brewer standing almost a whole head taller than Mr. Jason Mattingly at first.
I'm still pitching low. I'm trying to get a double play right here.
A little bit of an away pitch, kind of right at the middle of the strike zone, but appears Mr. Higginbotham having a little bit of difficulty with the location. I definitely see him more as a very accurate reliever than a full-fledged starter.
He has a very nice fastball.
He does. That's very good for those late innings, too. And there's a cut right in the middle of the strike zone, 2-1 with 1 out.
Speaking of which, that was right there. And I think whenever Higgy gets that fastball going, we saw in the first inning, once he throws that changeup, it's hard to pick up on.
All you really need is 2 pitches, a fastball and anything that's not a fastball. Changeup is perfect, off speed. Here comes the 2-1. A bit of outside pitch again. Still trying to pitch around this guy, 3-1. He had a little bit of difficulty with the strike zone against Mr. Hancock earlier, but he ended up giving up a fielder. It really was, I don't really want to call it an error as much as it was just a hit, a solid infield hit. Swinging, strike 2, very nice cut, and a very nice pitch, perfectly located for Mr. Higginbotham. Full count.
Christian Hancock was in, an advantage at 3-1, but now getting that second strike to make it a full count, you see where the momentum shifts.
Play anywhere except at home. First and second, runners have lead off. They are not going. Strike 3, looking. Well done, well placed for Mr. Higginbotham. Had him behind, was behind 3-1, came back with a very nice swinging fastball, and then got him looking. I believe that was the changeup. It was a little bit off speed, had a bit of a dip, nothing like his fastball.
And now he can just throw his best stuff at this point.
Yeah, Hayden Voiles, outfielder, left fielder perhaps, comes in. He struck out to end the inning, last inning. Mr. Isaac Hamilton is on deck. Runners are first and second. Here's the first pitch. Strike one. Bit of an outside. Higginbotham's probably trying to locate those pitches the same he did against Hancock, but with Mr. Voiles here, a little bit shorter, a little bit tighter of a, or a little bit wider of a swing. So I would avoid pitching away and low to with this guy. Pitch him up and in, pitch him down and in, and you should be able to get some good results, including a ground ball.
At this point, you just don't want to walk anybody. I think, getting that first strike really builds his confidence for this at bat. But you see, Grant have his best success throwing strikes, and so I think if he keeps it in, inside the zone, good things are going to happen this at bat and maybe get out of this inning.
Here comes the next pitch. Popped up a little bit by the mound. Runners are going to advance from second and third. Sylvie has the ball. Good coverage by Mr. Higginbotham at the plate. Runners at second and third now with 2 outs. You get up that count a little bit. When you make it a full count or anything, any 3-ball count, and you really got to avoid pitching into the zone. Mr. Coach Hain will be coming into the mound as well as the infielders drawn in. Mattingly to Higginbotham to Pierce to Redmond to, who did we say that was? Mr. Aiden Morgan and then Mr. Sylvie. Crowd around the rubber.
Mark Moore at third. Michael Brewer stands at second.
Those are 2 guys you do not want to see it on. I mean, that just means that you're in that heart of the lineup. Hancock wasn't exactly taken care of that well, but he was managed late into the zone. And now Mr. Oh, who did we say? Already losing track. Mr. Hayden Voiles stands in. Hamilton on deck.
I'd like to see Grant mixing a breaking ball here. I don't know if they're expecting it, but I'd like to see it right here.
I really don't know what to expect. They really don't have to expect a lot of things with this early of an account. Out and in, or pardon me, out and in. Right there in the zone and in. And bit of a rough sighting. 2-1 contact up the middle, or pardon me, down the right field line. Coming around his Owen Tripp, lefty. And 2 runs are going to score. Mark Moore in. So is Mr. Michael Brewer. That's not what you really wanted to see.
No, but just unfortunate. Just a little too high for Jason Mattingly to grab, and just a little bit of a dinky line drive. Gets over the first baseman's head and lands fair, and 2 scores run out of that.
Don't think we expected to see any opposite.
Oh wait, whoa! They called foul.
They called it foul, so runners will stay at second and third.
Well, that's great news.
Next pitch to Aiden,
and there's a
strike
swing.
3. Gets out of the inning. Higginbotham very pleased to see that. I did not expect that to see. I didn't see it foul. I cannot see the foul line for the life of me.
Nope.
Jason Mattingly is basically the first base to me.
They may have just hit that line. You know what I'm saying?
If it had hit the chalk, this would be a very different game. It would have been 3-0 with a runner probably at first or second, and still 2 outs, still running on contact. So it's very, very difficult to imagine what the game would have been like had that just. See, it's that game of inches thing that we were talking about.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, even with that pitch, if that pitch was a stitch different of the 108 in a baseball, that's on the chalk. It's kind of crazy. And you see it with all sports, too, as Mr. Christian Hancock takes to the mound.
Hey, we have great news coming out of Major League Baseball today for especially those Farmington Ice fans. Cardinals went 6-5 in 11 innings today.
Man, Adam Wainwright had a bit of a rough outing, but that bullpen has been looking solid. They lost the series to the Brewers, I believe, 3-1.
Yes, sir.
And that just did not bode well for the Cardinals. Brewers reigning NL Central champs. The Cardinals looking after an upgrade of a player, trading away Luke Weaver, Carson Kelly, I believe the infield prospect Andy Young, as well as a draft pick.
Jordan Hicks got the win.
Good for Jordan Hicks.
Saved by John Gant.
We acquired Paul Goldschmidt from Arizona. He still has a year left, and then he will be a free agent after this year, looking to extend, hopefully. He has 4 home runs on the year. 3 all came in 1 game.
Still needs to cut down the strikeouts, though.
Oh, yes, sir.
That's as a team, though.
All right, we head to the bottom of the second.
Harrison Bader 2 for 4 today, though.
Wow. We head to the bottom of the second. Pardon me. Bottom of the third. And Mr. Grant Higginbotham stands in his first at-bat of the day.
I mean, I will be honest. It wasn't like it was a fantastic hitting day by the Cardinals, but
clutch moments.
They hit them when they needed to, and got walks, got sacrifice flies and hits, and
just productive runs. Here comes the first pitch to Mr. Higginbotham of the day.
A little bit of dip and dink baseball going on.
That's the definition of Cardinal baseball during some years,
Yes, sir.
especially when getting nudge wins like that. And fouled back. Higginbotham makes a good cut. First strike of the day for him is it's 1-1, no outs. Very nice day for April baseball. A little bit chilly, a little bit of a wind, but not too uncomfortable unless you're in the sun and dark colors. That's when it gets a little rough. Higginbotham, pitcher versus pitcher. We'll see it. The 1-1, pardon me. A little bit low.
How about the Pirates using 9 pitchers today?
That is great news for the Cardinals, especially since this is the first game of their series. So that bullpen's going to be a little bit weak. And it's fouled back, 1-2.
I'll bet Cardinals did use 7, but they did that. I think it was a good experience for their bullpen guys. You brought in Brebria, Leone, Adam Miller, walked one guy as a setup man.
Check swing up the first base line, called foul. Just shy of being fair as we see some action in the bullpen. I think that's Jason Mattingly, and I cannot tell who else is in there. Owen Tripp warming up with him. I believe that, yeah, Owen Tripp warming up with him. Mattingly getting the pitching done.
And obviously Jordan Hicks going 2 innings, striking out 2.
Don't want to see too much work from him. He had a bit of work with Milwaukee. As the count is full with no outs, anything can happen with this next pitch. Probably going to see a lot of that fastball work from Hancock. Down and in. Higginbotham draws a walk. Good patience at the plate as we will now see Zach Grimes. Now, Zach Grimes had a rough start to the season. The Farmington Knights lost the game 4-1. I believe it was, who was that against? I'm not sure who was it against, but
Repeat that. Repeat that. Sorry.
Zach Grimes had a rough start to the season.
Oh, yeah.
They lost 4-1. 4 runs scored off of 2 different errors, both by Zach Grimes, and he has been shaking that off ever since, and he's been doing a great job. Contact hitter late in the lineup as he takes ball 1. Runner at first is Higginbotham. Low pitches from a very low pitch kind of guy. Hancock has used that fastball, putting it low and away against a lot of these right-handed hitters.
Activity in the bullpen for the Knights. You got Owen Tripp up there playing catch right now
with Jason Mattingly. Bunt shown from Mr. Zach Grimes. Higginbotham caught in a pickle. First base throw to second. He is safe.
Wow. That
That is some very live action that you like to see. There's a game played in baseball warm-up called pickle where you just try to change. You try to get from one base to another, and the object is to just keep throwing the ball back from one position player to another. And playing that, you get good baseball IQ. You increase that baseball IQ whenever you're in a jam between two position players, 2 infielders.
Grant Higginbotham, gave him a little juke out there in the middle of the baseline. He
Yes,
said, "Hey,
sir.
you're gonna have to choose which one you want to throw to."
Zach Grimes showing bunt again, bringing it back, and that'll be strike 1. He drew a ball off of that pitch. I don't think anybody was really expecting Zach Grimes to show bunt. He's got great contact, great speed, especially whenever he gets going. That momentum means everything. And now a large lead for Mr. Higginbotham out at second base. Playing for it is the second baseman.
Yeah. Oh.
Pitch showing bunt again. That's going to be high. That's going to be ball number 3. A 3-1 count, another hitter's count. It was a full count for Higginbotham before he got on with the walk. And Grimes trying to draw another walk.
At this point, you may want to show bunt early and then pull back.
Oh, it's going to be tough.
It'd be tough, but it'd be a good play.
Calling for the high, another check on the, eyeing down the runner, showing the check, bringing it back in. 3-1 the count, no outs. Higginbotham is solid at second. He's got some good speed as well. As Grimes getting a little bit of a wiggle going with his stance. Comes a pitch showing bunt, bringing it back again. Strike 2. Full count again. That is several pitches. No outs are from Mr. Hancock. I imagine there's going to be some activity showing in the Hawk bullpen very soon. Grimes standing in. Here comes the full count pitch. Higginbotham, arms ding. No check. Here comes the pitch. Bunted, and that'll be fouled off. And bit of confusion. And there's the out called finally. Now, in baseball, when a bunt is fouled off on 2 strikes, it is considered a strikeout and considered an out. And Zach Grimes kind of tried to act a little bit because there was no call yet as Clayton Redmond stands in.
I don't agree with trying to bunt on 2 strikes. You'd rather try to put it in play at that point than take your chances in a very small surface area with the bunt.
Redmond at the plate. He got on early this game. He fouls one over to the trees.
Taking hacks.
Yes, sir. Now I would actually bunt there, especially with the speed of Higginbotham, the personal speed of Zach Grimes, and how the third baseman Michael Brewer looks. He's tall, and he might be a little bit slower than some of those guys up the middle, and even at first base. That first baseman is not as tall as Jason Mattingly. Definitely not as tall as Michael Brewer.
I think it would be different if Grant Higginbotham was like on first base.
You see, I wouldn't do it at first base.
Exactly.
I would do it at second. And wild pitch a little bit, getting in front, and Hamilton recovers it nicely. Higginbotham stands still at second. Redmond got on with, what was it, a walk? I don't remember. Was it a hit?
No, it was a walk, I believe.
It was a walk.
Wish we had our little.
With a little bit of a scorecard. Play at second. He is safe. Higginbotham getting in, sliding in nicely. They have been a little bit of a not really a hidden ball trick, but as much as a checked ball trick where you keep the ball in your glove after the first tag, fake out a throw a little bit, even though the runner can't see you, and try to get the out. Here comes the next pitch. Strike two, Mr. Redmond. First and second. He had a stolen base. A little bit of an awkward stolen base, but a stolen base nonetheless. Hamilton, the catcher, overthrew him a little bit and allowed Hamilton to get into second, but nothing could be done after that.
I think I see a nice little gap over there in right center.
Yes, sir.
Right fielder's got a lot of space. They're playing the pool right now.
Contact up in the air, high fly ball. Right fielder calling for it, and that's going to come in. A little bit of shift to the right. No tag from Higginbotham, and pass ball to the third baseman. Good thing that's where Higginbotham would be heading.
You know, I think I might have tried to get that tag up and get the third.
You see, who is in right field?
I believe that is Ethan Eckrich, if I'm not mistaken.
Ethan Eckrich had a very nice awkward stance, almost as if his arms were really comfortable, and that just kind of bodes and shows a little bit. And I believe Higginbotham's going to come out, and number 17 for the Farmington Knights.
Riley Riesinger, I believe.
Yes, sir. Riley Riesinger coming in. That means Higginbotham's day is done, and I believe Jason Mattingly has been warmed up. And as there is 2 outs, that means Mattingly is definitely warmed up. He'll be coming in. He's got a nice fastball, a very nice curve, and his slider is, I would say, above average. He's got a nice 4-pitch arsenal, though. His changeup, he says himself, needs a little bit of work, and he doesn't use it unless he has to. And I think that means in full count situations like we saw both Higginbotham and Zach Grimes in. Hunter Pierce will stand in, the second baseman for the Knights, trying to drive in his teammate, pinch running Riley Riesinger,
I believe.
Riesinger. Wide infield, popped up. That's gonna behind the plate.
Man,
head towards the trees.
Knights have really been making some contact. Once they line it up, they could be having a field day here.
Oh, really? They really could. Score still 1-0 after a bit of a scare with a foul ball going towards right field. Pierce sets in again. The pitch from Hancock, 0-1, delivered. Checked up, bounced off the plate into the catcher. Bounced off the plate a little bit into the catcher's mitt.
That pitch came real slow at him, real slow.
Yeah, it really did. That off speed really kind of freaks out some hitters a little bit. But Pierce has got great baseball IQ and great patience and a great eye. Yep. Second basemen are the next kind of captains of the field next to shortstops and even catchers. Yeah,
but when as a batter, you get so geared up, ready to see the pitch as soon as you can, and then they throw you that off speed, and you're really stuttering.
And you get awkward.
Yep, can't get a good swing on it.
Popped up. This one's going to go behind the plate. Trying to make a play for it is Hamilton. Going towards the dugout. He's going to come up with it. And that'll be out number 3. Pierce not too happy about that. A little bit of a slam of the barrel of the bat down. As we head to the 4th inning. Still no runs put up. Jason Mattingly standing at first. Maybe we will not see him. Clayton Redmond heading back out to shortstop. Aiden Morgan back out to third.
Let's take a little walk around Major League Baseball right now. Only one game in progress right now. Cleveland Indians up on the Chicago White Sox 1-0, top of the 8th.
I believe I see Seth Heberly out towards the infield and Cale Krause as well.
Yeah, I think they're just warming up the outfielder.
Maybe a little bit. Pierce coming out. Pierce is a very versatile infielder. He plays second, short, and third. And I believe if he was maybe 2 inches taller, he would be a solid first baseman as well.
Higgy's still throwing. I believe it was just a courtesy runner for the pitcher.
Oh, that is true. Yep. Higginbotham, maybe he set in. You know, he has only allowed 1 run, couple different innings of trouble, but, you know, when you're at the bottom of the lineup, Hamilton to lead off, and I think you give him a shot again. I think you give him another inning. We will also see on deck right now for the Hawks is Dayton Holter.
Yeah, I think Higginbotham's only let up 4 hits so far this
4 hits
this
and
match.
3 walks, maybe 2 walks.
And 3 innings work.
That's not bad, especially for a high scoring or potentially high scoring team like the Hawks. So in the hold for the Hawks is Ethan Eckridge. On deck, on deck is Ethan Eckridge. In the hold might be Dayton Holter, and at the plate right now, Isaac Hamilton, the catcher.
Carlos Santana was the one who singled to right center field to score Jose Ramirez for the Indians.
Here it comes, top of the 4th. First pitch from Higginbotham into Isaac Hamilton. Popped up behind behind the press box. A lot of foul balls, a lot of difficult contact we've seen from both sides. The Knights have definitely struggled a little bit. The Hawks probably a little bit less struggling, especially whenever Michael Brewer dings a solo shot to lead off your game. Pardon me, just the game in general. Comes the 0-1 in the dirt. Up to the chest plate of Mr. Sylvie. 1-1 the count. Here we go, 1-1 the count. Still sunny, still bearing down, still a little bit of overcast here at Wilson Rozier Ballpark.
Feels great though.
It really does. Great April baseball weather. Here comes the 1-1. High and in. A little bit of a duck out for Mr. Hamilton as it's 2-1. The Knights have put together a couple of hits, a couple of walks, definitely several base runners, but have not been able to bring anything in. The 2-1, contact towards the third base line, but that'll go right towards the third base coach.
Nice little snag by the third base coach right there.
Yes, sir.
He's got the ground ball fundamentals.
I mean, you got to teach him. You have to know them to teach him. 2-2 the count. Bit of a pitcher's count. Higginbotham got a lot to work with. Slight time called. He's still set with the ball in his glove. Here comes the 2-2. Down and away a little bit for ball 3. Full count. We saw how the Knights dealt with full count with Higginbotham and Grimes. Let's see if Higginbotham can deal with a full count to Mr. Hamilton. 3-2. Swung on. High fly ball down towards the left field. Coming in forward to Zach Grimes. Sun in his eyes, glasses on. He's got it. That's out number 1 for the 4th inning.
Solid play by Zach Grimes out there in left field.
You know, they make custom sunglasses for baseball players, and that right there is a prime example as to why you need them. There's a little bit of shade going on towards right field, especially down towards the players, but Zach Grimes is down and in the sun. So is Aiden Morgan at third base and shortstop Clayton Redmond.
Well, I definitely lost that one, so.
I mean, I had a great take on it and a great end to it, but the ball was definitely lost in the sun. I got the shades on, though, as number 21, Ethan Eckridge, stands in. He walked earlier. He had a very awkward stance coming in, and he almost scored off of a couple different situations, but the Knights and Grant Higginbotham were able to take care of the rest of the second innings when we last saw him. Swinging through strike number 2, 0-2, Higginbotham has a lot to work with. 2 different pitches for comfort, 1 if he absolutely has to. And that fastball is probably going to come in away and down. That's going to be deadly for Eckridge. Pitch, down, away, didn't swing at it.
They're really trying to paint the corner right there.
Higginbotham has been trying to do that all day. He's had success with it a few times. He's just a little shaky with it is all.
It's not a bad strategy.
Especially against taller guys. The 1-2, down, away, fastball again, 2-2 the count. 1 out, got the fly out towards Zach Grimes. I believe that's rolled as 9 or 7. I can't remember in a program.
Mr. Knees of Steel, Chad Sylvie getting the sign from the coaches.
2-2. Oh, that was very far away. Sylvie picked at it a little bit with the glove, and it's now a full count. We saw the full count again. We see the full count again. Back-to-back full counts, just like the Knights had with Grimes and Higginbotham. And Eckridge had the walk earlier. I believe that was on the 3-1.
I think he just wants to throw a strike right here after giving 3 straight balls.
And nope, that's going to be in on the strike zone again. And another walk to Ethan Eckridge. He's a tall guy, deeper in the lineup, so the contact isn't really a viable threat for a pitcher. you see a guy that big deep into a lineup, you're probably going to be thinking deep power for guys in front of him. Isaac Hamilton gets on base probably a fair amount, especially against left-handed pitchers, I would imagine. He's got a great stance to deal with lefties. As number 5, Garrett Pinkley comes in. Strike one, no, ball one, going to come around, and Eckrich is going to take second. Thought about rounding third, but he probably got a good eye of Sylvie warming up before the game. He's got a deadly arm behind the plate. Higginbotham losing a little bit of control here. He had 4 straight up pitches, up towards in pitches against Ethan Eckrich after getting ahead 0-2. Garrett Pinkley standing in again. He's definitely a taller guy compared to some of the leadoff hitters that we see, or top of the order guys that we see. Runner at second, 1 out. Contact up the middle. That's going to go towards left field, and that's going to be right field. Owen Tripp is going to get a hold of it. He catches it.
Wow.
Doubled off the runner at second. Great play. Owen Tripp, a left-handed right fielder. Coaches love to see that.
That was first an athletic play, and then second off a great mental play to quickly throw it to second base.
You know, right fielders are taught to always, even if it's a second base runner to third, he absolutely has to throw to the cutoff man. And getting to the second baseman quick is just perfect. And that was a great, accurate throw at the bag like you're taught. And I was just really great execution by Owen Tripp in the second. The shortstop Clayton Redmond got to second base. Hunter Pierce was playing for the cutoff. Yep. And I don't think Ethan Eckrich really knew what was happening.
No. He had the same mindset as me whenever that ball came out the bat. He's like, oh, that's going to get down. I may have a chance to get, round third and get home. And no, he didn't.
Yeah, the fly ball, even though it's a little bit colder, you get higher up, the temperature kind of rises towards the sun, and boom, it's going to fly a little bit more, stay up in the air a little bit more. And Owen Tripp was able to capitalize. And I believe that is still Hancock out on the mound, throwing to Hamilton. Sylvie will lead off this inning following him. I believe it still will be Noah Ballou. And then potentially, I believe Jacob Jarvis is who we saw.
Update on the White Sox-Indians game. White Sox, Yoan Moncada.
Yoan Moncada.
Pronunciation isn't my strong suit, ladies and gentlemen. But he doubled the left field. Jose Rondon scored. And then Ryan Cordell homered to center field to bring both him and Moncada home. So White Sox all of a sudden take a 3-1 lead on the Indians in the top of the 8th.
Yes, sir. Those Indians and those White Sox, they're going to have a bit of a fun year this year. The White Sox didn't make a lot of offseason acquisitions, but that late talent like Yoan Moncada, young talent, former #1 prospect in baseball, Yoan Moncada. He and Rafael Devers of the Boston Red Sox were fighting it out for prospect battles. As Chad Sylvie, potentially a future MLB prospect himself, as he's eyeing some scholarships from different places, but junior college and JUCO powerhouse Jefferson College, Jeffco, as we call it here in Farmington, giving him the biggest offers, seems like. First pitch to Sylvie, high and in, takes ball 1.
Located in Hillsboro itself, so.
Yeah, he'll probably be seeing a lot of these guys, especially, I believe, if he gets the constant kick. Ooh, another high fly ball. This one's going to go right towards over our heads, and it's going to fall. Still in the field. Sliding play by the third baseman, Brewer, but could not come up with it. Now, that one soared high and just kind of died in terms of direction. It easily could have landed towards one of our cameras posted directly at home plate. And our technical director, Mr. Campbell, fearing for his life. Mr. Campbell, I have a glove in my car if you need it.
I definitely thought the catcher was going to make a play on that.
I did too, but the third base, Michael Brewer, slid in with some very nice darting speed. As here comes the 1-1 to Chad Sylvie. Contact to fly, ball back again.
Oh.
Just barely missed the lighting close to the stands. Here we are at Wilson Rozier.
We'd have to let the insurance company know about that one.
Now, I got a good eye, good look at the dugout, good look at some of the JV players sitting in the stands, and I just could not help but see the man himself, Dave Burke.
Hey.
Nice contact up the middle in center field. It's going to get down in the outfield. Nope. Right fielder's going to come up with it towards the wall. Chad Sylvie had a great break on that shot. Right field. I mean, I felt like if this isn't half an inning ago or maybe a full inning ago, that right fielder is still dealing with the sun.
Yep.
And that's a bit tougher of a play as that really got towards that 350 mark and towards the green fence in the outfield. And now Mr. Noah Ballou.
Can't ask for much better there.
No, sir, you cannot.
Great contact, just couldn't get over that 350 mark. But you live to see another day.
Noah Blue stands in tall, powerful. Wow, nice solid sound as this fouled back over the trees, over the Knights bullpen.
I think Hancock's throwing a little too straight now. Not really picking it up as soon as it leaves his hand. Might want to throw some off speed and maybe a little more braking in there.
Yeah, you start to do that, especially later in the innings.
And
Oh,
that was his attempt.
that was his changeup, ladies and gentlemen, or maybe it was even his curveball. Died a little bit sooner. Now, what you like to see from a lot of pitchers is a 4-pitch and sometimes even a 5-pitch arsenal. We've seen Higginbotham with the fastball and the changeup work really nicely for him as a 1-2 count. But what we've seen from Mr. Hancock is his fastball, his 2-seam, I believe, has worked really well, and then I dare to say a sinker. Some of those low pitches, he's more of a fastball pitcher, and a sinker is, while people think, oh, it's a breaking pitch because it drops, it's actually a form of fastball. And his slider is also, again, a fastball. Has worked out really well for him. I think the only thing that we've seen that kind of troubles him is either a very awkward change or a very even more awkward curve. As is the 1-1 count with 1 out to Noah Ballou. He takes ball 2. Sun's starting to hide behind the clouds a little bit. I'm feeling way more comfortable.
I'm
How about
not.
you? Yeah, rocking the shorts and the hoodie. I was doing that earlier during the school day, but
Mother Nature's pulling an April Fool's joke of her own on us right now.
yes, sir.
I'd like to think that I could wear shorts on April 1st, but
I do too.
I'm really testing the waters right now.
You know, I was down in Texas for spring break just last week. Man, it was warm. It was nice and warm. It was in the 70s, upper 80s even one day.
Looks like the catcher Isaac Hamilton's a little shaken up after that pitch. It might have bounced back up and got him in a spot where you do not want to get hit.
You do not want to have a ball jump up at you.
But there's the man himself,
Dave Burke.
David Burke, in the field of play. This day just got better.
This day really did just get better. And I mean, maybe not for Isaac Hamilton, but it definitely got better for viewers.
No, I think he definitely felt a little bit of healing right there. And
Yeah, just walking, Dave Burke walking towards him, he just started to feel better. You love to see Dave Burke, you know, his son Ethan Burke, athlete here at Farmington High School, played football on the line and was a senior basketball player for the varsity basketball team. And you know, Dave is
out-
well respected.
shout out Ethan Burke, though.
Yes,
Bright
sir.
future ahead of that kid.
Yeah, you
No
know,
doubt about it.
I don't remember if I voted for him as most likely to succeed for senior personalities, but I wouldn't doubt it if I did.
Hey, one of 4 kids in the class of 2019 at Farmington High School to get a 30-plus on his ACT.
Shout out to exes Donley, Parker Bowman, and Ann Raymer. They are the other 3. Yeah, Ethan Burke has a bright future ahead of him at Mizzou. He will be rooming with another athlete at Farmington High School, Tyler Licks. I will be seeing him a lot there as I will be going to Mizzou.
I will not.
Man on my left is going to Missouri Western.
It's kind of
Cough, cough, griff up.
it's one of the Mizzou juniors out there.
Yes, sir. Tight end for football, if I'm not mistaken.
Man, Isaac Hamilton's having a rough time
You know,
right now.
he's got the mid off. His mask is still on, so you know there's not a terrible chance that he's out of this game. But he's been a solid staple and a solid rock for the Hawks today. Probably a very good defensive mind, probably a very high IQ in baseball. And I bet you he and the other pitchers on the team, including Christian Hancock, have a great relationship. And that's just what you need. As of right now, Noah Ballou sitting next to Mr. Hibbets, head coach for Farmington Baseball, if I'm not mistaken. Dave is the owner of physical therapy and overall rehabilitation here. What is the name of the facility he owns?
Farmington Sports and Rehab.
Farmington Sports Rehab. You know, it almost makes sense.
So basic, but
It works.
such a great place.
Simple, but solid. Bit of a round of applause for Mr. Isaac Hamilton. He's going to remain in. Puts the mitt back on. Here's the crouch down. Maybe a few warm-up pitches come in for him and his sake.
You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I gotta say about it.
You know what? I do too. Very solid saying to live by. Second warm-up pitch. Noah Ballou is looking eager to get back into the batter's box as Hancock will visit with his catcher, Mr. Isaac Hamilton, on the mound. Infielders are starting to spread out. Ballou, nice, shiny. Was that an Adidas bat? I could have sworn I saw the 3 stripes for an Adidas bat. I cannot tell for the life of me. I think it is. Noah Ballou sets in. Still has the 2-1 count with 1 out. No runners on. Still 1-0 here in the bottom of the 4th.
I just want some burgers.
I'm smelling them.
They're really tempting me right now.
I'm smelling them.
Oh, another pitch in the dirt.
Ball 3.
We've seen a nice pitching battle so far. It's maybe not as crispy as it could be, but they're coming through in time.
There's contact towards the left field. That's going to get down, and it's going to get past the left fielder. Noah Ballou is going to dig for 2. A nice strong throw towards the second baseman, and sliding in, Noah Ballou is safe at second base.
Double machine.
Yes,
Noah
sir.
Ballou.
Cleanup hitter for a reason. Who is the left fielder out there? I have not been able to tell.
Ooh.
I want to say, I don't think it's Mark Moore. Mark Moore, I believe, is in center.
It's not Mark Moore.
Who we got out there?
I'm trying to get number 15, maybe Hayden Voiles.
No, Hayden Voiles, maybe. That could be.
I think that's our man.
Yes, sir. And now standing in, the 5th place hitter, Jason Mattingly, with 1 out, runner at second, looking to tie this game up. He could do it with a base hit. Ballou is the center fielder, has great power, and also great speed. You have to have good speed to be a center fielder. Jason Mattingly stands in. First pitch to him. Going to take it low and in.
Activity in the Hillsboro bullpen right now. Don't know exactly who's out there, but
Christian Hancock dealt back-to-back full counts last inning against Higginbotham and Grimes, and that just does not bode well for one's pitch count, and that can create some difficulty for a pitcher's stamina. Ball 2. He had a high pitch count towards Mr. Noah Ballou, lower towards Sylvie, and now he's kind of shooting this one up to Mr. Jason Mattingly. Now this could be another one of those unintentional, intentional walk situations. He's got the high pitch count. As we see Jacob Jarvis on deck. In the hold would be Owen Tripp, but he's playing catch with the in the bullpen. High fly ball towards foul territory. That's going to go towards the bullpen for the Knights. 2-1 the count. And Noah Ballou has not given Isaac Hamilton or Christian Hancock much of a reason to keep him at bay. Second baseman still gives the occasional check. Shortstop trying to get behind him, fake him out. Darting back and forth, a 2-1, crack towards right field. That's one's going to get into the sun. Right fielder going to battle for it. He's going to get under it and make the catch. Noah Ballou going to head back, not going to tag up.
That was a great throw by Ethan Eckridge right there.
Yes, sir, it was. Ethan Eckridge had a nice drawn walk a couple times and nice strong throw, And that's Grant Beck at shortstop. So I believe second base. I don't know who that is. I can't tell. Garrett Pinkley at second. Those are some mighty tall infielders, with the exception of Grant Beck. He's a little bit shorter, but he's definitely quick. First pitch to Jacob Jarvis. Strike 1, low and away a little bit. Painting the corners like we see Higginbotham try to do, but this is a righty-lefty battle that Higginbotham's only had to deal with once. And Owen Tripp on deck, the second lefty in this starting lineup.
You can see that Jacob Jarvis plays with a little swagger.
Yes, sir. He takes strike 2. 0-2 the count. He's going to have to see Noah Ballou will be running on contact with 2 outs. Owen Tripp hoping to see some action this inning. And Jacob Jarvis hoping to drive in the tying run. Strike 3. Striking out on 3 pitches, not what you want to do. Hancock did beautiful work against the lefty. And Noah Ballou will be stranded at second. The game is heading into the 5th inning. The Hawks are up 1-0. The only run scored this game was off the first hit of this game by Michael Brewer, a solo shot, no doubter into right field off the very first pitch. That probably shook up Higginbotham a little bit as he will head back out there for his 5th inning of work. This has been a rough time for some of these Knights hitters, I imagine. Still only, 4 innings of hitting from them. Probably nearing the 2 at-bat per player, with the exception of Owen Tripp and Zach Grimes and Grant Higginbotham. But it's kind of frustrating. Hunter Pierce, I believe, struck out both times. Sylvie might have struck out both times as well. And that's frustrating for seniors who lead this team. In the number 2 and number 3, both have great mental mindsets and high baseball IQs. You have to whenever you are a catcher like Sylvie and a utility infielder like Hunter Pierce, who plays second, short, and third, and plays them really well. All right, we will begin the top of the 5th. Sun is still beaming down. Our cameraman, Lucas Colligan, has shifted from the outer posted camera right over here to our closed camera. I now sit in the middle, still between my color commentator Tyson Gray and our technical director, Mr. Campbell. Grant back to lead it off, shortstop for the Hawks.
Can we call him James on the air?
I don't know. I don't call him James at all. I call him Campbell if I'm being as casual as I want to be. Grant Beck has the 0-1 count to deal with. Here it comes. Cracked fly ball towards the right field foul territory. Zach Grimes giving it a chase. It's going to drop outside of the fence in foul territory. 0-2 count. Higginbotham, any pitcher likes to see it, but the last time Higginbotham was ahead 0-2, he ended up pitching 4 straight pitches, I believe, to Mr. Eckridge. Here comes the 0-2. That fastball down and in would be nice right about now. Here it comes. High and up towards Higginbotham. Perfectly played to Mattingly. Bit of a shovel towards him. Gets the out.
You'll take at-bats like that all day.
100%. Higginbotham got it off of one hop. Well played. Scooped it. And a shovel pass to Mr. Jason Mattingly. We saw him warming up earlier with Owen Tripp. Not last inning. He had to do a bit of a batting work as Sylvie sets down. Well, maybe this could be the sign of Higginbotham settling in as the leadoff hitter Mark Moore comes up for his third at-bat of the day. Take strike one right down the middle, it looks like.
Nice little off speed. Looks like Mark Moore's choking up a little bit on that bat.
Contact hitter, leading off, 1 out, and now you're behind the count. You're going to see him choke up real nice and hard towards the middle of the count. Swinging strike. He's not too happy, a little frustrated. Whenever you choke up that hard on a bat, you typically fight for contact, and that low pitch dropped nicely, probably an off-speed changeup or just a deep-speed curve.
What we talked about, Grant Higginbotham, the only runs he's given up is that first inning shot to Michael Brewer.
And he gets the strikeout on 3 straight pitches on Mr. Mark Moore. And now coming in the lefty, Logan Warren. On deck, Michael Brewer. I bet you Higginbotham would love to get out of this inning right now. If he gets out of it, he has to, he doesn't have to deal with much. Fouled back towards the backstop. And now Higginbotham, he's getting pretty settled in now. It's a 0-1 count. He's been ahead of the count on both batters he's seen. And if he gets the strikeout here, he doesn't have to deal with Michael Brewer, especially he won't have to deal with Michael Brewer with anybody on base.
That was a solid whack from. That's 2.
That's 2 solid whacks, fouled back to the backstop towards the Hawk dugout. 0-2 the count again.
The aforementioned David Burke walking by.
My goodness. My day just got better, too. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Contact towards right field. Zach Grimes going to fight for it. Or pardon me, Owen Tripp going to fight for it. That's going to get down and head towards the wall. Coming around is Mr. Warren. He's going to dig for 3. The throw in from Owen Tripp. Cut off by Pierce. The throw to third baseman Aiden Morgan. Stymied. Runner at third. Michael Brewer coming in. That was a good solid contact you see from right field, or our left-handed hitter. And Owen Tripp really dug for it, really tried to make a play at it, but after he realized he just couldn't get there, he played for the ball. He played for it hard. Hit the cutoff man, Hunter Pierce, really well, but the play to the third baseman was just a little bit short.
And, yep, we're intentionally walking Mr. Michael Brewer.
You know, after he just dinged a solo shot to lead off his day, I'm not surprised. I'm not disappointed.
Got himself a double as well.
Yes, sir. Well.
Or did he? No, he walked. My bad. Excuse me. Walked.
He walked, and there was a wild pitch. Yeah, it was a wild pitch. So, Michael Brewer at first. A little bit of a meeting on the mound. Outfielders standing. I wonder what an outfielder thinks whenever that happens. I mean, I really just wonder what goes through the mind of an outfielder. You see Zach Grimes in left, No Blue in center, Owen Tripp in right.
When you see the ball in the air like that going over your head, or in what situation are you talking about?
I think I'm talking about like a meeting at the mound kind of play.
Oh. Hey, he's probably just sitting up there thinking.
Now,
man.
I'm curious as to something. Didn't we not see Jacob Jarvis batting? I do not see him in the field.
He might just be DHing. I think that might be the case.
We've seen Grant Higginbotham hit, though.
Yep. I think he's DHing for the third baseman.
Oh, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. That makes perfect sense, actually. Pitch from Higginbotham. And it's going to go past Chad Sylvie. Run is going to score. Higginbotham shoveled in really nicely, and the runner, Michael Brewer, is going to advance to third. The play at third to Mr. Morgan. Tagging is safe. That'll be a run scored and a runner advance from first to third. Mr. Logan Warren. Sylvie caught off guard a little bit. Michael Brewer, a tall guy. We saw him with that charging speed as he's the third baseman off the bunt plays, but he just dug in from first and ran rapid. Got the sign from the third base coach, not much of a warning, and third baseman was having a rough day. He's had to deal with back-to-back plays, sliding, and just here comes the next pitch too. That's the pitcher, Christian Hancock.
It was a savvy slide from Michael Brewer, though, as he pulled his arms up in mid-slide to get around third baseman's tag.
Yeah, I was going to say, he got to the left side of Aiden Morgan. First pitch, second pitch to Hancock. 2-0. Higginbotham really shaken up.
Kind of wonder if he's a little frazzled or if he'll keep his composure and finish this inning.
We hope to see it. 3-0, 2 outs. Here's the 3-0, and then that's going to be ball 4. Runners at the corners. Now coming up, I believe we see Mr. Hayden Voiles. We see him, I believe, in left field, maybe right. And he's going to get a shot with runners at the corners, trying to advance the lead from as much as 5-0.
At this point, you'd enjoy to see some run support in the back half of these innings for the Knights. You know, it's still a 2-0 game. Looks like Coach Ibbs is
calling in. I think he's gonna call for a reliever.
Yep, I think he's bringing in Owen Tripp.
Owen Tripp gonna come in. He was warming up a little bit, and that'll be it for Grant Higginbotham's pitching day. With runners at the corners like that, you're not too surprised to see it. And Higginbotham looking a little disappointed. I think he's heading towards second base.
I'm not mad at the move though, because at this point you have a left-hander, and it will kind of, you know, it will kind of switch it up a little bit. I understand you have a lefty throwing to a righty at this moment, but it is going to.
But it's going to switch it up.
Yeah.
My only issue with the play is Higginbotham would be pitching up against who was Hayden Voiles. Hayden Voiles is 0 for 2 against Higginbotham right now. He finished out the first inning and the third inning without any real contact, barely even foul ball action. His own trip. Lefty with a lot of arcing power with that stance. Jason Mattingly, Hunter Pierce still remain at first and second on the right side. On the left, we still see Clayton Redmond and Aiden Morgan. Aiden Voiles.
A little bit of Phil Collins in the background here at the ballpark.
Yes, sir. Owen Tripp has some great location. Very strong left-handed power. We see him on the varsity basketball team, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
Ooh. In the dirt, Sylvie shaking up a little bit. Kind of beating himself up. He definitely gets angry. He's got, you know, he mentioned that he's got some pregame rage where he just has to take it out on like a pole or something. He definitely digs into batting practice, and you can see it, you can hear it around this area.
Looks like Owen's got a really nice curveball to him, though.
Yes, sir, he does. A lefty curve like that, and it's just going to be plunked in the dirt again. This is why you warm up.
Yep. You just got to get that command going.
It is starting to chill down a little bit here. JV game is definitely going to be a lot cooler than it is now.
Not enjoying it.
I personally am not enjoying it either. Alrighty. I believe that'll be it for Mr. Owen. One more warm-up pitch. Infielder start to scatter. Great location. Inside pitches for, pardon me. It'll be inside pitches for Hayden Voiles. Man, that's confusing for me. Michael Brewer stands at third. At first, I think that is. Who is that? Is that Christian Hancock, I believe? Yeah, Christian Hancock. No, pardon me. Yeah, Christian Hancock at first. Alrighty. 2 outs. Owen Tripp into pitch. First pitch, Hayden Voiles. Down and away will be ball 1.
Looks like it was close. Owen was a little bit of disbelief that wasn't called strike.
I mean, whenever you're first brought into a game and you're not familiar with the strike zone quite yet, it just kind of happens. and then you get used to it. And you get in the chase of the ball like that. Now 1-1 the count, 2 outs. This is a dangerous situation for Owen Tripp. If he pitches in the inside to Mr. Voiles here, and Voiles gets a hold of it, there's not a very big gap, a little bit tighter of a gap in left center, but he can definitely capitalize on that. And there's a massive gap in right field. High, ball 2. I'm personally in disbelief that was not called a strike. It was right at the helmet height of Chad Slovey, the mask height, but Hayden has a very small stance, so his elbow is a little bit
compact
crooked.
body as well.
Yes, sir. Contact towards foul. Count, yeah. That'll be a 2-2 count now with 2 outs, 2 runners, 5 innings on the scoreboard. Nice little Pepsi emblems on the upper corners of the scoreboard here at Wilson Ridge Ballpark. Flags out over center, over the 370 mark.
Wilson Roser is a historic ballpark. And
Yes,
it's very nice, very, very rustic.
Good baseball appeal.
Yes.
Alrighty.
One of the probably the best in the area, if we're being honest.
2-2. Swung on, fouled over the bullpen. It's going to hit the telephone pole perfectly.
I'm surprised that Hayden Voiles got a hold of that one, because it looked like he swung as soon as the ball was hitting the back part of the plate. Like he just got the handle on it.
Yeah, he really did. That's probably, he doesn't have batting gloves on, and that's one of those things that can really shake you up, like you see with Noah Ballou. Runners are going, and that's going to be another run. Sylvie trying to recover it, and there's going to be not a play at third. He's learned his lesson after Michael Brewer did. Runner will score. Brewer's in. Full count now with 2 outs. Owen Tripp. A little bit of a wild pitch. That's not what you wanted to do. You've seen that twice now with Farmington Heights pitchers with some wild pitches. Runners advancing from first to third. Almost happened with Christian Hancock. And runners scoring from third in. We saw that with Logan Warren and now Michael Brewer to make it 3-0. Going to have a lot of catching up to do next inning, or this next half of the inning. Contact. That's going to go into left field. Digging for it. Zach Grimes finding it, and it's going to go right at the warning track. Hurling it in towards the cutoff man. A little bit of a round trip as Christian Hancock's going to score 4-0. Hayden Voiles, that's exactly what you didn't want to see. The inside pitch, he pulled it towards left over the head of Zach Grimes, right at the warning track. Now, we've seen 3 deep balls hit, and actually 2 if you count 2 of the foul ones. And now
Hey, man, what a long inning, long top of the 5th this has been.
This has been especially long for Grant Higginbotham as Isaac Hamilton stands in. And right now it doesn't look like it's going to get any shorter for Owen Tripp. All right, here it comes. Strike 1. Good coverage by Aiden Morgan at third. He's got a sharp mind, sharp baseball mind. He and his fellow sophomore Clayton Redmond on the left side of the infield. The next pitch, the 0-1 to Isaac Hamilton. Strike 2, nice low location. Owen Tripp with that very nice subtle change or curve. It's difficult to tell. Didn't see the spin for it, but it definitely didn't have the sharp turn of a curve.
Great off speed though.
Really great off speed. He's got a nice arcing stance, so that kind of gives the appeal of a fastball pitcher. And he checks swing.
One thing I noticed is that he kind of delays his release as that's coming out.
You see that with Christian Hancock too, don't you?
Yep. He throws his fastball kind of high, and then it comes down on him, and then throws his changeup and just holds it a little longer. And I think that's really what throws these these batters for a curve, so to speak.
Oh, 2-2 the count now. Ball 2 delivered. Owen Tripp, try not to get too excited. He might want to go back to that off speed and dip it a little bit lower towards the knees of Isaac Hamilton. Still runner at second, 4-0 in the top of the 5th. Here it comes. And there's another pass ball. That's going to go. Sylvie can't find it. It's going to be another run scored. Another run scored all the way from second, rounding. Sylvie could not find it for the life of him. It went to his left. He thought it was to his right or directly behind him. Owen Tripp, nice recovery. Sylvie kind of marking, saying it was on him.
And now all of a sudden you have 5 runs on the board and bases clear without anybody hitting a home run. This has truly been a 2-out rally.
This has definitely been a wild pitch kind of rally, too. Wild pitches, walks. This is kind of the Cardinal baseball we were talking about earlier, just chipping it away at some of the mistakes. That's probably, the third wild pitch we've seen, and the third run scored off a wild pitch as Isaac Hamilton has a full count with 2 outs. This is just one pitch changes this inning.
I'm really starting to smell that food again.
Yeah, me too. The wind is kind of blowing. The 3-2. Swung on, contact towards left field. Zach Grimes going to dig for it. That's going to drop right in front of him off one hop. Grimes throwing into second. Hamilton rounded a little bit towards first, but will ease back in. And now Ethan Eckridge, who started a rally last inning, sort of a rally off of the walks and the wild pitches and a couple contacts, will try to score in his fellow teammate.
And the Knights just can't get out of this inning.
They just can't catch a break. The Hillsboro Hawks, the Jeffco, kind of quote-unquote rivals, so to speak, just have been a baseball team that capitalizes on mistakes. And the Knights just are having a difficult time not making those mistakes and an even worse time trying to prevent the capitalizations. Ethan Eckridge, number 21, still a tall standing right fielder.
Got to assume that the lights are going to come on here at Wilson Rozier at some point.
I would imagine towards the end of this game, beginning of JV. First pitch, ball 1. And now the sun has almost completely been shrouded by the clouds, and that's not making it a very pleasant experience for the two of us. And Sylvie just had a bit of a difficult time, keeping the ball in the mitt or letting stuff pass him. It's not 100% his fault, obviously. A bit of a wild pitch, just from both pitchers today, Higginbotham and Tripp. In the first inning, it worked for Mr. Owen Tripp. Next pitch, 3-0 the count, or 2-1 the count. Alrighty, 2-1-2, 5-0. When we come back, we're gonna have the bottom of the lineup for the Knights in the bottom of the 5th. So this will be interesting to say the least. Ethan Eckridge standing in, runner at first. Strike 2. 2-2 the count. Tripp trying to capitalize. He really doesn't want to hang a curve. This is definitely the kind of batter who will take advantage of a hung curve and will crank it towards the scoreboard.
I don't think Owen wants to waste this pitch. I think he wants into this now.
2-2. It's going to be bopped back.
And hits him.
And he hits the batter. So it'll be a little bit of an appeal. And there's runners at first and second. Location and just control have been a big issue with both of these pitchers. Now, over the course of our high school career, who is one pitcher over the years that you have seen that just absolutely controls the strike zone?
Whew.
I can think of about 2.
Let's hear him.
Definitely, oh my goodness, I lost his name. Jacob Bone.
Jacob Bone, that's a good one. Yep.
Had a nice fastball and good control. And for the life of me, surprising, just based off of his delivery and his overall velocity, Wyatt Byford. He was a senior our freshman year. He definitely had great location, especially against lefties, even though he's a right-handed pitcher. That's something you like to see. First pitch to Mr. Garrett Pinkley. The tall standing second baseman, correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir. 0-1 count.
I'll throw one in Alex Palmer. I think he was very
yes.
underrated as a pitcher in this program.
He had great power, too.
Yes, sir.
His swing was beautiful. I would say he's probably got my third favorite swing out of all the hitters I've seen. Strike 2. 0-2. Owen Tripp has him 0-2.
But definitely on the mound. Alex also had that cocked back delivery. But once it came out, it was a beamer coming at you.
Yes, sir. Palmer had the third prettiest swing. Hunter Pierce has my second favorite. Oh, ball right in front. Incomplete strikeout. Got him at first. We can finally get out of the inning. Owen Tripp relieving for Grant Higginbotham. He gives up another 3 off of wild pitches, pass balls, and definitely some wild pitching errors. This is just not looking too good for the Farmington Knights. And I believe Owen Tripp will actually be – I don't know how the batting order will go now that he's replaced him on the mound, but Owen Tripp was to lead off for the Knights. So.
Oh, wow. So, Cleveland Indians back up 5-3, and it's the end of the 8th.
How did this happen? Maybe we've been gone too long. That 5th inning, that top of the 5th might have lasted a little bit longer than we expected.
But I think the bottom of the 8th lasted a little longer for the White Sox. Henley Ramirez reached on air. Leonis Martin scored, Jake Bauer scored, and Greg Allen walks. And so it was just a matter of bad pitching resulting in bases loading, moving them around, and getting them getting to the plate.
That's I'm not going to say much, but that's hitting a little close to home, if you know what I mean. So we had
And the NBA.
the NBA. Over the actually, you know what? How is your bracket doing for college basketball?
I have 0 of the Final Four teams in my bracket. So
See,
that's one I will happily shred up and use as confetti once Texas Tech wins the national title.
Oh, that's bold. You see, I was one of the few people that had Michigan State beating Duke in the Elite Eight. People called me crazy, but the Spartans are in the Final Four, and the Blue Devils are not.
I didn't call you crazy. I just didn't think it was going to happen.
You see, our good friend Isaac Tinnen called me crazy, and he called me stupid. And I don't recall you disagreeing with him. That's all I'm going to say.
Blues play the Colorado Avalanche today at home at 7 o'clock.
Hopefully after this varsity game, if you are not going to come on down to the JV game, if you're not already here, if you can watch the Blues game. Cardinals have already played today. We'll see them tomorrow, as Owen Tripp does lead off this inning for the Black Knights. He takes strike one. Owen Tripp is very patient at the plate. And here comes the 0-1. Popped out of the glove of Isaac Hamilton. We've seen that a lot. I don't know if it maybe is something with the baseballs. It could be something in the dirt. You never know with ballparks. Everything's different everywhere. I don't think I've ever seen 2 baseball parks, 2 sandlots, 2 anything look exactly alike. So here we go. The 1-1 swung on, high fly popped up near our equipment. It's going to fly by the light fixture towards the umbrella, really close to us. Good motherly protection we've seen from a couple people out here.
You best believe I was about to snag that.
You know, I really thought you were. I really felt like if I had my glove from my car, you would have gone for it. You would have taken the headset with you.
Buddy. Oh, man. I was going to grab that one barehanded.
Oh, man. Here comes the 1-2. Now 2-2.
I think our technical director, Mr. Campbell, wants me to sacrifice my body for the TriCaster.
You see, Mr. Campbell, I do believe that Missouri Western would pay for that TriCaster if it meant protecting Tyson Gray, as it's now 3-2. 5-0. Owen Tripp trying to make something happen with a full count. I really want to see how long Mr. Hancock is in, because he's got a high pitch count.
Oh, yeah, he's got to have a high pitch count.
It's a skyrocketed pitch count. He and Higginbotham were battling it out. As another foul ball comes towards us. Catcher trying to make a play for it, won't get there. Isaac Hamilton. Yeah, I would have dove there. I mean, as a catcher, I would have dove there. As a third baseman, I would have been on third base. Hamilton appears to be doing a lot better as he gets the mask back from Mr. Owen Tripp. Dave Burke working his magic on not only players of the Farmington Knights, but surrounding players. Sadly, even North County. 3-2 count. Here's the pitch. Contact towards first base. Going to get past the first baseman. Into right field it goes. Wouldn't have been a scary situation if the right fielder had a better jump on it. Would not been a surprise to see a potential 9-3 put out. A very rare play in baseball, but
Owen Tripp had one just a couple weeks ago. I witnessed with my own 2 eyes.
The 9-3?
Yes, sir.
To Jason Mattingly?
Yes, sir. Well, I think it was to I think Chad Silly was at first.
Number 12, Grant Higginbotham stands in. Going to try and drive in his fellow pitcher, Owen Tripp. Takes strike one a bit away. Higgy walked to get his batting day started as he led off a third. He got into second. And high pitch. There was a lot of potential there. If Owen Tripp had maybe even gone for second, Hamilton had a good shot at getting him out. And he even looked like he was about to throw towards first to pick off Owen Tripp. Definitely a speedster, right fielder and pitcher. Takes a high ball towards in for Grant Higginbotham. And it's 2-1. 5-5 still the score. 5-0 still the score in the 5th inning. We've seen Owen Tripp and Higginbotham do good work together. We've seen Zach Grimes do good work with him on the bases. And Knights really hoping Owen Tripp comes up to bat again this inning, matter of fact. Higginbotham, 2-1. Ahead in the count. Owen Tripp, big lead. 3-1 the count. Now this is where you start to see the coaches for the Hillsboro Hawks eye each other and look towards the bullpen a little bit. Or look towards the potential reliever, Higginbotham.
Activity going on in the bullpen as we speak.
Yes, sir. 3-1. Here it comes. Swung on in the dirt. Full count now. Just another pitch added onto that pitch count. You will definitely not see Hancock pitching sooner rather than later. The food has been up my nose for quite some time, and I am getting very hungry.
I just noticed that.
I mean, it was one whiff, and that's all it took. So it is now 3-2, full count. Here it comes. High, and it is another walk.
Now, if you're Zach Grimes, you want to get this ball up in the air. And I think there's going to be a
potential pitching change. Yeah, we see the coach from Hillsboro walk out. This could be the pitching change. Hasn't made a motion yet towards anybody. This could just be a meeting at the mound. He's kept them scoreless all game. Hancock had a couple of scares, but has not faltered. Now, Zach Grimes talking it over with Coach Hibbets. Now, you say you want to put it in the air. I say after we saw the arm from Ethan Eckrich, even though it's opposite field, I wouldn't want to do that with runners at first and second towards the right field side.
But still, you'd rather take the 1 out than the 2.
Yeah, I'd rather it go up. I'd rather see it on the ground hard. Hard on the ground is better than anything in the air, really, unless you just crank it. And I don't think Zach Grimes cranking it is out of the question by any means. But with how we've seen the pitcher today, he's not been giving up very many fly balls.
I mean, that's true. But I wouldn't mind seeing a ball hit that satellite dish out in left field for Zach Grimes.
I wouldn't mind seeing the satellite dish by not KSDK, by KREI get kicked out by Zach Grimes right now. I mean, it's obviously not possible, but I would still love to see it. All right.
That satellite dish is possible if he's you know.
Yeah. Clean count, clean outs. First pitch, turning in, avoiding another potential hit ball. Grimes, number 9, batting 9th. Sits in. 1 ball. 2 runners on, first and second. Here it comes. Another one into the dirt this time. You got Zach Grimes sitting next to Isaac Hamilton, both donning the number 9. Both very key parts of this team. Zach Grimes, late hitting contact hitter with a little bit of pop in the bat. You definitely don't mind seeing him towards the end of games in doubles territory. 3-0 is the, or pardon me, 2-1 is the count. That was a very subtle strike call. I've had a little bit of difficulty seeing that with the umpire today, but scoreboard is helping me out. 2-1, no out still. Hopefully this doesn't go towards the third baseman, Michael Brewer. Here it comes. Contact that's going to get popped up over towards the Knights bullpen. It'll be 2-2. Grimes kind of looking at it in a little bit of frustration. He probably thought he had a good shot at that one going somewhere. He's had 1 at bat today, so he's probably eager to get a hit, get on base. Well, even more eager, leadoff hitter Clayton Redmond is on deck. He's hoping to see an at bat again.
I think the Knights are looking again on the scoreboard this inning.
Oh, yes, sir.
Get some momentum back.
Cracked up the middle. It's going to fly over the infielders' heads towards center field, and it's going to get caught. Runners are going to remain at first and second, running back. That was a good piece of hitting by Zach Grimes. He probably felt pretty satisfied whenever he finally got it out there. He walked earlier this game, and that was his first real official at bat. He's going to remain 0-1 for the day. As Clayton Redmond looks for signs. Nothing really, as he's setting in the batter's box. Shortstop, sophomore, great communication with the 2 infielders to his left and right. Hunter Pierce, senior, big leader of this team, and then his fellow sophomore, Aiden Morgan, being DH'd for. First pitch, high ball 1.
That was pretty close. That was right about Clayton Redmond's chest.
That's right about where Grant Higginbotham wanted his fastballs to go against most of those right-handed hitters.
Oh, no doubt.
1-0, 1 out. Runners at first and second. The 1-0. Going to be hit right off the cleat, and runners are going to advance as the pitcher had to run up towards the plate and get it. Runners at second and third. This is the best scoring opportunity we've seen for the Farmington Knights. Top of the lineup with 1 out. I don't know what I would say here. I don't think you should intentionally walk Clayton Redmond, because that just leads to Hunter Pierce, who does not strictly go in the air on the ground. As strike 1 will come in. That's going to get fouled off of his cleat. 2-1. If you strike out Clayton Redmond, Hunter Pierce becomes a little bit less dangerous.
You could could play a little dip and dink here. Maybe Clayton Redmond could hit a little dribbler down the right, or even, if you want to get a little tricky with it, give it a good bunt down the right.
I was going to say.
The right foul line.
Here it comes, the 2-1. Low and away. 3-1 the count. Bases loaded for Hunter Pierce is not a terrible idea. And if he strikes out, bases loaded for Chad Sylvie isn't a bad idea. Now, what would be even more ideal is if Chad Sylvie was the tying run. That would be great. Popped up over towards the bullpen. I almost said bunker. Full count now. And I desperately think Hancock is about to come out of this game.
I think
if he doesn't get out of it.
Christian Hancock is about to give right here.
I think a fastball over the middle would make Clayton Redmond's day, as well as every Farmington night here.
Oh, man.
Hibbets was giving it a bit of a run for its money, and looks like a man from the bullpen, or maybe that's just a JV player. We'll roll it towards Mr. Hibbets.
He just waits on that a little bit more, and we got ourselves possibly a 5-2 game right now.
Yeah, I mean a 5-4 game would be even better, but I don't see how that would happen. 5-0. Here comes the pitch. Full count. Fouled over again.
He's taking his axe, man, but Hancock does not want to walk him.
I definitely don't want to see Hancock walk Mr. Redmond here. I would rather see Redmond hit one down the right field line and get a triple out of it. Although Eckridge has a nice cannon of an arm, you don't know how accurate it is, especially towards the third. And, yeah, you can try to hit the cutoff man, but transitions are rough. High and out. High and in, pardon me. Full.
There it is.
Count, turn 2, a walk, bases loaded. Hunter Pierce, Chad Sylvie. And I think now we're going to see Mr. Christian Hancock come off the mound. Yes, sir. Michael Brewer heading into the dugout for some reason. I think he's going to get a different glove.
Oh, I think we're going to see Michael Brewer pitch.
Michael Brewer pitching after having a home run and I believe 2 runs scored. Would definitely, yep, that's a new glove for Michael Brewer. Where are we seeing? Oh, number 12.
Lefty.
Logan Warren. That is dangerous right there. Maybe Michael Brewer is just switching up positions. Maybe I think Hancock might head towards third base.
Michael Brewer's going to first.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. Logan Warren was the initial first baseman. Michael Brewer heading towards first, and maybe a shift towards third from pitcher to third is Christian Hancock. I don't know where he's at. I don't see him. Is he at short? Is he at second?
Logan Warren's got a little bit of a wiggle to his pitches, a little.
Let's get a good eye on what we got here. In the shot, we see Mr. Coach Hibbets, Hunter Pierce, taking some cut swings. That is a nice delivery.
It's pretty mesmerizing if you watch it, but I think you can eye it up and get a hold of it, especially with as good of a.
I think it's time for the sunglasses to come off. Do not want to seem like a terrible person just because I'm wearing sunglasses when it's getting dark out.
Hey, Mr. Campbell, I'm gonna have to leave it. 6:20 because I have to conduct practice at the high school.
Alrighty, warm-up pitches are coming in.
I'm about to say, been here for 2 hours. Girls basketball never takes this long.
Alrighty. Logan Warren has sufficed up some warm-up pitches, and we see Grant Beck shift from, I believe, short to third. See some versatility like that with the man at the plate as well, Mr. Hunter Pierce. And I think Hancock has moved to shortstop. You see that with pitchers a lot. Is there either outfielders who have, of course, very accurate arms, or you see that with some of those key infielders? You see Owen Tripp came in from right field. Center fielder Noah Ballou, also a pitcher.
Well, then you got a player like Michael Brewer who can just play anywhere.
Yeah, you can probably stick him in the center. You can figure something out.
You can put a Division I baseball player anywhere in high school.
All right, first pitch to Hunter Pierce. Bases loaded, in the dirt, and Owen Tripp was eyeing for it.
Might hit that umpire's shoot.
Yeah, maybe we'll see another appearance from Dave Burke. Trying to cure the umpire's foot ailment. 1-0 the count. We saw Owen Tripp, the lefty, come in relief. He gave up 3 runs. You can see it from Logan Warren. Outside, 2-0 the count. Now, if Hunter Pierce hit this over the wall, I would walk into seminar the following day, tomorrow, Tuesday, and give him a nice solid pat on the back. But it's
Oh,
3-0.
There we go.
Runner's going to dart for it. And incoming Owen Tripp.
Hey.
Runners are going to advance from first to second and second to third. Higginbotham on third. And Clayton Redmond, who drew the walk, is at second. Now this has become a different situation. This is where you might actually consider walking Hunter Pierce. Chad Sylvie had a frustrating day at the plate, 0-2. I mean, you're just one pitch away from walking Pierce anyway. Why not just let it happen?
Chad Sylvie's got a beat on the ball right now. He hit that one deep into right field. Just Ethan Eckridge, great play on the ball.
Yeah, you know, I definitely don't doubt that Sylvie is going to be eyeing for hitting it hard and high. That's strike one, Hunter Pierce. He was trying. He's trying to sell for the walk. I mean, I would be too. That would make Sylvie the tying run. But right now, it's looking a little rough. Pierce, deal the 3-1 to him. Contact up towards high and outside the chalk. Left fielder called for it. Got it. Runners aren't going to tag. It'll be 2 outs. Sylvie at the plate now.
Just unfortunate.
A great opportunity. He was ahead in the count. He really thought he had a good beat on that ball. And now runners are at second and third with 2 outs.
Got the top of his bat.
Both of these runners are going to be running on contact. Sylvie is definitely looking for some opportunities here. He struck out his last time up. Or pardon me. He flew out his last time up, struck out his first time up. And you don't see Sylvie go 0-3. I've never seen it happen personally. While I was here, I have not seen it.
Be wary of the commentator jinx.
You know what? I am not a man who believes in jinxes. Here it comes, the first pitch. First pitch. It'll be ball 1 to Mr. Chad Sylvie. Runners at second and third, Higginbotham and Redmond. Pierce flew out towards the left fielder near foul territory. 2-0, pardon me. Now it is 2-0. Check on runner at third. Got him out. Man, that was a beat play. Isaac Hamilton.
I don't agree with that.
That looked rough.
That's the same play that was happening at first base about 3 different times.
That was
whenever we were checking batters.
We head to the top of the 6th, and even if you disagree with the play, if that play is valid, it's a great play.
All right. Well, my man, Alex Lawson, it's great to be in the booth with you, and I look forward to our future. I'll leave on that.
Okay. All right. I look forward to seeing you at the desk on Thursday for the Night Show Spotlight. Check us out. My color commentator, Tyson Gray, now leaves me as he goes to practice girls basketball. And we head to the top of the 6th. My technical director, Mr. Campbell, just unplugged the mic for Tyson Gray. And, well, it's getting lonely already. I already miss my color commentator, good friend Tyson Gray. So, Owen Tripp coming out for another inning of work. 5-1. The Knights finally got on the board, and they're looking to make some more progress. I believe behind the plate we have a new face, as Chad Sylvie is nowhere to be found. I do not see where Chad is. And number 16 for the Farmington Knights, Max McKinney, is behind the plate. I know Max from the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, as he good guy, sophomore, and another fellow member of the BKTV Studios family. And he'll get geared up and head back towards the dugout as Sylvia is ready to go back. Behind the plate, Owen Tripp on the mound, Mattingly at first, Aiden Morgan at third, Clayton Redmond at short. At second base, Hunter Pierce. In right, Grant Higginbotham, center field, Noah Ballou, and in left, Zach Grimes. Alrighty, first pitch to Mr. Grant Beck. We saw him shift from from shortstop to third base, and he's a very versatile young player. He's a junior. Gets good contact up between the gap of shortstop and third baseman, and he'll get on base. Great contact. We like to see that from any player, but hopefully we see that more from the Knights next inning, or next half of the inning, as Mark Moore, who had a great piece of hitting to lead off last inning, or not necessarily lead off, but to get on last inning. We see what he'll do with fellow infielder at first. Pardon me, not fellow infielder. Mark Moore is an outfielder, I believe the center fielder. Grant Beck, a base-stealing threat has a good lead. Mattingly playing close. Check on him from Owen Tripp. Called safe. You have to watch out for those pitcher checks. They can definitely do a great bit of change to this game. Mark Moore sets in. First pitch to him. Strike one on the outside. 0-1. Mark Moore entering, I believe this is his fourth at-bat, donning the number 2. Owen Tripp definitely looks like he has a bit more control. 0-1 the count. Here it comes. Oh, it'll be a check on the runner, and Grant Beck will steadily tap back into first. Mark has good contact and he's settling in. He's got a little bit of a Matt Carpenter lean. And he'll take ball number 1. Runner at first. Still remains Grant Beck, as it is definitely chilled down a little bit. 5-1 the score in the top of the 6th. 1-1 count. Tripp, number 6, on the mound, delivers. A little bit of a slight check, but without even a little bit of an appeal, it goes to 1-2. She missed it. This game started off with a home run by Michael Brewer. The Knights got on their first run after a bases-loaded wild pitch last inning. And a swinging, he really went for it, but Mark Moore will strike out on swings. Get the first out for the Farmington Knights. Number 12, Logan Warren, came into relief last inning, kept the Knights from scoring with bases loaded. He got the bases loaded after Clayton Redmond got on, and then Hunter Pierce was the batter whenever the run came in, but he was out, and so was Chad Sylvie at the end of it. A little bit of a pop fly towards the first baseman. Tripp calling for it. He's going to get it, and Jason Mattingly stumbled a little bit as Grant Beck steps back onto first base. Making quick work so far, the Hillsboro Hawks, but with a runner at first and a 5-run lead after great base running and solid power, Michael Brewer looking to drive in another run, maybe even himself. Lefty on righty, Brewer can cover the plate pretty well. Tripp almost as well. The off-speed stuff is something you really got to watch for. Here it comes. First pitch. Nice off-speed stuff to the right. It'll be strike 1, but you're definitely not going to want to throw that pitch again. That would be a travesty if Michael Brewer could take that opposite field yet again. Here comes the 0-1. Beck left at first. A little bit of run. Beck is going to advance to second after Chad Sylvie. Got the ball past him again. Eyeing third base. Hayden Morgan preparing for it. We've seen now, I believe, almost double-digit passed balls or wild pitches from the Farmington Knights pitching today. And Chad Sylvie does not seem too happy with it, And they're finally going to intentionally walk Michael Brewer after the runner advanced to second. And cleanup hitter, former pitcher Christian Hancock. Now we see him at shortstop. He has, I believe, a walk to his name. And he's going to have runners at first and second with 2 outs. He's going to try to advance the lead to up to 8-1 if he can get it out of the park. With a runner at second, base hit would make it 6-1. Contact, that's going to go high up in the air towards center field. It's going to come down. Right fielder's going to get on it. Here comes the throw into third, and Aiden Morgan's going to let it drop past him. It's going to be a double as Grant Peck scores into home. Michael Brewer stands at third, and at second base, the aforementioned Christian Hancock off of the first pitch just drilled it towards right center field. Grant Higginbotham made the play for it. And with 2 outs remaining, it's now 6-1. Number 15, Hayden Voiles. He extended the inning last inning with a cracked double, near triple last inning. Check swing. Runners at second and third stay. Sylvie manages the ball. He had the fly ball that went over Zach Grimes' head in left field and went to the warning track after Tripp left the fastball towards the inside. And he's definitely not going to make the same mistake again. The off-speed stuff was working against him. Let's see how he does on the 0-1 pitch. Here it comes from Tripp. Swung on, missed towards the left-hand batter's box. 0-2 the count. Tripp capitalize on this situation. Higginbotham had a little bit of trouble with the 0-2 count, trying to do a little bit too much. Trip, the pitch. Contact towards the second baseman. Hunter Pierce not going to make a play. First base is going to occupy. And here comes in 2. Play at the plate is safe. Brewer comes in. So does Hancock. And that is going to be another productive hit from Hayden Voiles, the left fielder, I believe. Now that's a lot of runs. It's 8-1 now. Runner at first. Isaac Hamilton had to throw off the shin guards and plating. He's got a very clean swing, slighter body, but he's got some good power. He managed to walk last inning, and the momentum is just not stopping for the Hillsboro Hawks. Eyeing the runner first, trip, the first pitch. High and in, ball 1. Now what started as 4 innings of just 1-run ball has quickly changed to 8 runs amongst the Knights and Hawks. Here comes the 1-0. Now 2-0. Chad Sylvie eyeing Hayden Voiles back. Hayden Voiles back to first. Hamilton now 2-0. He's ahead of the count. Owen Tripp behind. Here it comes. After he gets a sign. 2-0. Be outside again for ball number 3. 3-0 with the runner at first. Don't want to see 2 runners on, especially with Ethan Eckrich at the on deck circle. He's he's nedged a couple of walks. Here's a 3-0. That is strike 1. Ethan Eckrich has a lot of potential power, has a great arm, and a very awkward batting stance that makes it very difficult to pitch to. But Owen Tripp managed him fairly well last inning, as I recall, from the left side. Popped up, foul behind the stands, into the trees. 3-2, full count for Owen Tripp. Coming in from right field in relief last inning for Grant Higginbotham when there were runners at second and third. Was unable to keep them at 2 runs. 2 had scored off of wild pitches and pass balls from Chad Sylvie as well. Here comes the full count pitch, and instead of check on the runner at first. That will be Hayden Voiles. Again, he had that long fly ball on the left. Turned what would have been maybe even a base hit by some slower guys into a double, and almost edged it for a triple. If that was in right field, he would have been at third base. But right now, he's at plate, stealing. Hamilton shopped it in front. It's going to roll foul. And Hayden Voiles had a great break on that pitch. I mean, had it been a different out circumstance, had it not been a full count, I think he gets that bag almost every time, even if it is Chad Sylvie. Sylvie hands the bat back to Isaac Hamilton, fellow catcher, counterpart. Hamilton had a bit of a shake-up, potentially almost came out of the game after a bit of a injury. Dave Burke came on to relieve and assist. Not just Farmington Knights players. Full count pitch to Isaac Hamilton. Strike 3. And Owen Tripp gets out of the inning. Well done towards the very beginning and very end towards of the inning. And we head to the bottom of the 6th. And looks like we will see Logan Warren potentially still on the mound. And to lead off this inning will be Noah Ballou. He had a good piece of hitting a couple innings ago, but was stopped at second. He caught on a play at third, I believe. Or he was possibly stranded. He was stranded. Logan Warren will remain pitching as a ball flew over, I believe, his catching coach's head. Taking a look at the infield. Grant Beck slid over to third when Hancock, who was at shortstop, came in. Garrett Pinkley, the second baseman, and at first, the former third baseman, Michael Brewer, in the outfield. We see number 15, Hayden Voiles in left, in center, Mark Moore, and in right, Mr. Ethan Eckrich. Number 10, Brandon McLaughlin, playing some catch. with the left fielder, Hayden Voiles. Again, leading off this inning will be Noah Ballou. We will also see batting appearance by, I believe, Jason Mattingly. Oh, wait. I think that's Chad Sylvie. You know what? I am mistaken. Chad Sylvie was actually at the plate whenever his teammate was picked off at third, so he will lead off this inning. Jason Mattingly will be in the hold, and on deck will be Noah Ballou. Back-to-back-to-back righties, followed by Jacob Jarvis and Owen Tripp, 2 lefties. That'll be a bit of an issue for them with Logan Warren, the lefty, the sole lefty hitter in the lineup, and lefty thrower on the mound. They're behind by 7 in the bottom of the 6th. The Knights looking to hopefully get back in this game before it's too late. Sylvie sends in. He's 0-2 on the day with a strikeout and a fly out. First pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Sylvie's getting a little frustrated today, but I don't think that's going to stop him from trying to keep this game alive. Strike 1, it's 1-1, even up the count for number 1, Chad Sylvie. He was the 6th/7th man for the basketball team for the varsity this year, and he was also the goaltender for the soccer team as he takes the 1-1. Outside, ball 2. Christian Hancock had 4 and about a third good innings of work before he had to give up relief to Logan Warren, who delivers the 3rd ball to Chad Sylvie. 3-1 the count. Sylvie not gonna say no to a walk. If it gets him on base, it gets him on base. I don't think he minds taking the trot down towards Coach Hain and Michael Brewer. Here comes the 3-1. Swung on, popped up over the bullpen for the Farmington Knights side. Full count now. This is dangerous territory for Sylvie. He's had a frustrated day at the plate. And Logan Warren has decent breaking stuff. Definitely not a walking threat. Here it comes, the full count pitch. Sylvie's going to pop this one up, and that one will go towards Michael Brewer, who's going to get under it, making the catch. And that will retire Sylvie. And now there's 1 out. Noah Ballou had it close to a double a couple innings ago. And standing on deck is the first baseman, Jason Mattingly. In the hold, I believe is Jacob Jarvis. Designated hitter for the 3rd baseman, Aiden Morgan. Checking for some signs. Logan Warren was batting 2nd earlier. And now he's going to deal with cleanup hitter. Strike on the inside. 0-1. Mattingly has not had a good day at the plate. He's probably going to look to drive in his teammate Ballou as he takes the 0-2 now as he fouls one back deep towards the trees. That's a good piece of hitting, just wrong direction. Alrighty. Noah Ballou, senior, in between substances. Short time called. Here comes the 0-2. Ground ball up the middle, and the shortstop, Hancock. We'll get it to Michael Brewer. That'll retire Noah Ballou as he trots down the first base line, heading back to the heading out to the dugout. And now Jason Mattingly resembles the last real hope for the Knights. The first pitch to Jason Mattingly. Down and in for ball 1. Again, a bit of a rough day for the Farmington Knights. They're down 8-1. There's a little pitching errors, a couple decent hits from the Hawks. We brought it to this as it'll now be even at 1 for Jason Mattingly. fouled up towards the trees behind the stands. It's now 0-2. Hawks players probably looking forward to getting out of their cleats into some comfy shoes, sitting down with some snacks, watching the JV game. I know that'll be personally exciting for me as we see the 1-2 to Mattingly from Warren. Popped up over the dugout again, towards the stands and in the trees. Warren waiting for the catcher to back into position, and now he looks for the sign. Got what he likes. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball towards the pitcher. Is going to get past him towards the second baseman, and that'll be it. Garrett Pinkley gets the play as we head to the top of the 7th. Zach Grimes back out into left. Clayton Redmond at short. Hayden Morgan back out to third. And a bit of catch going on. Grant Higginbotham in right, playing catch with, I believe that is, could be Colton Wilkerson playing catch right now. Oh, pardon me, that's Cale Krause. Jason Mattingly playing some toss around with the infielders. Clayton Redmond, Hunter Pierce, and the aforementioned Hayden Morgan. Owen Tripp will remain in after doing some pretty decent work, pretty quick work, even though he gave up a couple runs. This game is winding down pretty soon. Sun is starting to set right over one of the light fixtures, and I imagine the lights will come on right as the JV game begins. Getting a little chilly. We're probably nearing the mid-40s as the sun rapidly sets. Now, Mr. Eckrich, who's drawn a couple walks, had a couple deep fly balls, sets in. First pitch to you, Mr. Eckrich. Ball 1 on the outside. Here's the 0-1. Pardon me, the 1-0. It is now 1-1, evened up. If you're skipping towards the end of the game, it has been a rough day for the pitchers for the Farmington Knights, as well as the catcher Chad Silvey. He's had a couple of pass balls, and a lot of wild pitches have come from both the starter, Grant Higginbotham, and the reliever, Owen Tripp. Alrighty, here comes the 2-1. Ground ball down the third base line, foul. Aiden Morgan will handle it. Two and two. Tripp looking to get a nice notch strikeout to kick off this inning. Higginbotham had a great start to this game as strikeout for Owen Tripp towards Ethan Eckrich. Higginbotham struck out the first two batters he saw on pitcher's counts. Struck out the pitcher, Christian Hancock, but in the middle of it, he had a solo shot to Michael Brewer. That has been the staple for this game. There was a 1-0 game for the Hawks for quite a while until Higginbotham allowed some base runners and gave up a run, and then Owen Tripp came in and gave up the other 6. First pitch to Garrett Pinkley. Pinkley is the second-string catcher behind Isaac Hamilton. Hamilton is one of the other outfielders you see. A lot of these players you see have multiple purposes. Grant Beck is a pitcher as well as a solid infielder. Garrett Pinkley, infielder and of course, second-string catcher. Here comes the 1-0. Popped up, fouled over the stands. It's now 1-1. I believe the only other player that we have seen today that is not multiple purpose is Mark Moore, who's strictly an outfielder, and Hayden Boyles, who's also strictly an outfielder. Ground ball towards the third baseman, Hayden Voiles, and he'll get a runner out towards Jason Mattingly. Owen Tripp doing some pretty nice quick work as I believe infielder Nolan Evans is going to stand in. He'll make his first at-bat of the day. He stands in from the left side. Interesting batting choice, sticking a lefty out there with Owen Tripp, a lefty himself, pitching. That could mean the end of the day for, well, I believe that would mean the end of the day for Grant Beck. Garrett Pinkley was the last hitter we just saw. He grounded out towards third. Eckrich had the strikeout, and now we will get underway. Standing in, Nolan Evans. He's strictly an infielder. He doesn't see much outfield work, not even a pitcher. Although you do see that quite often as Owen Tripp delivers his first pitch. Ball one in the dirt on the right-hand batter side. We are in the 7th inning of the game. Here comes the 1-0. Swung on, light swing. Kind of a weaker cut. Probably realized that he didn't have a good chance at the ball, but committed to the swing instead of checking up. Count is now even at 1 with 2 outs. Here comes the 1-1. Into the dirt at the knees. Stopped by Chad Sylvie. And it'll now be the hitter's favor again, 2-1. Here it comes. Strike one, lower and away. 2-2 the count, 2 outs. Saw the strikeout of Ethan Eckrich earlier, and the ground ball out to third baseman Hayden Voiles. Pardon me, Hayden Morgan. Ooh, it's going to get the umpire. Bounced up, hit the umpire. We might see the appearance of Dave Burke as he's a little shaken up. You want to find out dusting off the plate. So he's going to take advantage of this time and give Tripp a visit the mound. The umpire was caught around the knee area. Definitely not a pleasant place to get hit. Knee is, will definitely buckle you down a little bit as bullpen activity has decreased immensely in the night side as Sylvie gets back towards behind the mound, and Tripp is on the rubber. Number 13, Riley Jennings on deck for the Hawks. Clicked up towards center field. Underneath it, calling for it is Ballou, and he'll get it. That'll retire the side. No hits allowed for Owen Tripp this inning as the Knights look to continue this game. So Hancock will go to short. Beck to second, which means that number 8, Dayton Holter, will go to third. Ethan Eckrich goes back out to right. And it looks like Hayden Voiles will go back out to left. And in center still will be Mark Moore behind the plate. I believe we have a change behind the plate. Isaac Hamilton remains. Nope. Garrett Pinkley coming in from the infield will go behind the plate. Logan Warren remains on the mound. Michael Brewer will remain at first base. Nolan Evans, just a nice pinch hitter. And I think we've seen the last of Isaac Hamilton. And it looks like Max McKinney is going to get a chance to lead this off for the Knights. That or, yeah, Max McKinney, one of the catchers for this Knights roster, will stand in. Bright green bat, and he will get into it. Sophomore this year. We mentioned earlier he is a member of the Black Knight TV Studios family. And he's going to dig in. Pinkley giving a little bit of a visit to Mr. Logan Warren. Jacob Jarvis and Owen Tripp. Both lefties probably don't want to have to deal with the left-handed pitcher, Logan Warren. So Jake Bishop, I think, nope, Owen Tripp will be at right field. Or pardon me, on deck. He's going to stay into it. Max McKinney takes his first pitch of the game. It'll be strike one towards the outside, right around the knees. Here we go. It'll be 1-1. And Max McKinney took over in the DH spot for Jacob Jarvis. Try to get that righty on lefty action. Here comes the 1-1. Outside, ball 2. Owen Tripp taking deep cuts on deck, trying to make sure that the runs that he added on the scoreboard don't mean the loss for the Knights today. McKinney takes a nice cut, nice swing through, but it'll go over the stands. Seen a lot of foul ball action today, and we hope that the Knights can try to direct that towards the physical field for the rest of the season as well as today. 2-2 the count. Comes the even count pitch from Logan Warren. Another foul ball. That one's going to hit the top of the fence, top of the protective barrier, as is now getting colder. The sun is setting a little bit more, but the count remains even. Can he dig it in? Here's the 2-2. Down the third base line. That's going to be fair. Nope, that will be foul. McKinney really thought he had a beat on that, and that down the line with the left fielder out there. That would have spelled trouble for the Hawks, and you don't want to give this Knights team momentum. The Knights with momentum is almost the same as the Hawks are right now. Hayden Voiles would have definitely had a difficult time making a play on that too. He was playing a little bit towards the straightaway part of left field, but 2-2, down and away, full count. And now, walk is a threat. Swinging on a thing close. And it's going to be inside and still called a strikeout. McKinney definitely played it off as it was a little bit more inside, and I personally thought it was, but that'll be out number 1 for the bottom of the 7th. Owen Tripp stands in. Came in relief for Grant Higginbotham around the 5th. And gave up a couple runs of himself. The 6 runs added on after Higginbotham came out of the mound. Here's the first pitch to Owen Tripp, lefty on lefty. Strike 1 towards the right-hand side of the plate. Definitely going to be a difficult matchup for Owen Tripp. Warren takes 2. Fouls one off right off the edge of the plate. Into the chalk and towards the first base side. 0-2 the count. This is Warren's comfort zone, especially against the lefty. Pitching him inside, definitely see a difference between righty and lefty and lefty. Lefties pitchers definitely have a bit more of an advantage. Here comes the 0-2. Called strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Logan Warren. And now Grant Higginbotham from the right-hand side of the plate. Started this game off, ended up in right field. Owen Tripp traded in places. He stands in. He drew a really nice 3-2 walk earlier in this game. Here comes the first pitch. High ball. Looked right about the elbow range. Could have been either call. And now here comes the 1-0. Thinking about them swinging at it, it'll go into the asphalt area, parking lot. And now 1-1 the count. Right about now, I'm missing my color commentator Tyson Gray very much. It'll be 2-1 the count. Another high ball. This is getting closer and closer to the elbows. Grant Higginbotham. 2-1. Swung on and missed. 2-2. All right, even count. 2-2. Warren trying to strike out the side. Finish this off. Here it comes. 2-2. Swung on. That'll be chopped towards the third baseman. Staying foul. Good play by the third baseman, Dayton Holter. He came in. Gave a little bit of relief to Grant Beck, who I believe slid over. Pardon me, he has exited the game. Had a good day at second base, moved over to third whenever Hancock came out. And Brewer slid over to first. Cracked towards the left field. That's going to get over foul, and doesn't look like Voiles has a play on it at all. Even count, still 2-2. The 2-2. Crack towards center field. Making a play for it. That's going to be Mark Moore. He's got it. And after getting the first 2 strikeouts, that'll be it. The Knights suffer a 8-1 defeat against the Hillsboro Hawks, Jefferson County rival. And now we will see classic handshaking after the game. Higginbotham and Tripp, 2 pitchers of this game for the Knights, Hancock and Warren. Held the Knights to 1 run off of a couple of wild pitches and some decent hitting towards the fifth inning. Well, guys, that will end it for this game. Wilson Roger, be sure to check us out on our next stream, and be sure to check me out on the Night Show Spotlight with fellow commentator Tyson Gray, who exited early. We post every Monday, and look forward to seeing you guys. We only have about 6 weeks of us left before Tyson and I graduate. Thank you guys for watching, and we hope to see you on the next game. Hopefully it's a win.